Hey, you dorks, this is Gunnar Hansen, Leatherface from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and you are listening to The Dorkening.
Hi, I'm Brian Johnson, and although you probably accidentally stumbled across it and have no idea why you're watching it, you are in fact watching The Dorkening.
Hello, this is Tom Kenny, voice actor, the voice of the Ice King on Adventure Time, and SpongeBob SquarePants. Meow. Oh, Gary the Snail, too. Hey, guess what you're filling your eye holes and ear holes with? The Dorkening! Oh, I love the Dorkening. Very popular in Ooh and Bikini Bottom.
Hi, I'm Lou Ferrigno. You're watching The Dorkening. And you know what? You don't like me when I get angry, so don't get me angry. You better keep watching The Dorkening.
Hey guys, this is Felissa Rose, and you're watching The Dorkening.
Hey guys, it's Courtney Palm. We're shooting Death House, and you're watching The Dorkening.
This is Anthony Michael Hall, and you're watching The Dorkening. Stay tuned. My friend's going to show you what entertainment's all about, baby.
The Dorkening.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 20 of the Loudest Sports Show, brought to you by the Dorkening Network and sponsored by Deadly Grounds Coffee. We are the Amigos, the Ray Hall Trio, the Sports Triumvirate, and along with Slash is the Ice Queen and Emma Extreme, we are the greatest sports talk team you have ever seen. And not only that, we are live tonight. We are live and in stereo. How you guys doing tonight? We got Dave the Kardashian Dragon. How you doing?
I'm feeling great. I'm feeling good, ready to go. I'm excited. Let's get it going.
We got Dan, don't call me Danny Spencer, with his sunglasses inside.
Well, I wear my sunglasses at night because I can.
And chewing on I'm hoping that's a candy necklace because she keeps popping teeth out left and right. We have Emma Extreme.
Hi.
How you doing tonight, girl?
How you doing, Emma?
Look at this. What's your day like? How you doing? What's new?
Nothing.
Look at that outfit.
Oh, dude, she's balling. She's like a mix between like somebody out of the St. Patrick's Day parade and the dude, and like just she's got it kind of all going on. It's like a good hybrid look. And that's not a candy necklace. That's a regular necklace that her father would prefer was not in her mouth.
Yeah, unless it was candy, which it's not. And making her triumphant return back, it is Slash's the Ice Queen.
I've got a Tamagotchi.
She did. She got a
Tamagotchi. Oh yeah.
Hello Kitty Tamagotchi. And we already have some folks. I don't know what that's supposed to be. Oh yeah. Okay. In stereo. Yes. Thank you, Boss Rush Mode. Boss Rush Mode, a goalie himself, and a very big fan of our NHL preview show today. So yeah, that's what we're doing tonight. Is the live episode. We're doing.
I'm so excited.
Hockey is back.
Hockey,
which is good because we keep having NBA games canceled.
Freaking long for this.
So we're excited, and we're going to be doing a bunch of previews, predictions, and we got some bonus questions that these guys don't know about. Not even Slashes knows about it, and he was here with me. But we're going to start off with our opening face-off. Dave, I'll kick it. Actually, no, Emma. I'll kick it to Emma first. Emma, when you are watching games or you're watching wrestling, either live or on TV, what kind of snacks and drinks do you like to have?
Daddy said last night I could have what?
Honey roasted peanuts.
Honey roasted peanuts with what? Caramel popcorn.
Basically, homemade Cracker Jacks. We didn't care if we ever got back.
And milk.
What do you like what do you like when we go to places? We go to wrestling or we go to games. What do you like when we go there?
Red drinks.
Red drinks. What do you eat?
I eat popcorn.
Yeah, that's the stuff right there when you're live.
And sometimes you give me ice cream.
Correct. Can't lose with ice cream.
So we'll take it from there. We'll move on to Dan. So Dan, what do you like? Whether you're at home or you're out in the real world?
under normal circumstances, being out in the real world, I mean, in stadium, pretty much anywhere, even though the prices are astronomical and it's basically like taking out a small business loan, I'll go with beers for drinks and food. I tend not to go with a lot of food in the stadium, but if I do, I will say, especially when I'm at Fenway, I like the shelled peanuts, especially because at Fenway you don't have to, you just crack them and leave them. It's like eating a Texas Roadhouse, so that's always nice. But when I will say though, just a personal experience is I've been at a tailgate that one of my buddies' business has thrown the last few years. So that's where it's at. If I had every game experience like that, to have a tailgate with unlimited like oysters and shrimp and an open bar, that's where it's at. But generally, most of these things are taking place at home. And it all depends on the season. If it's baseball or if it's early basketball or late basketball season, we're going barbecue stuff. But generally, I will say sports days, my main ones that I'm cooking for are going to be football, and for the most part, those are going to be crock pot days. So whether it's chicken or pork or what have you, pulled chicken, pulled pork, whether it's a vegetable, whatever it is, like a nice hot crock pot meal served over some rice, or if it's pulled pork or chicken over some nice rolls, that's usually where it's at. Then I'm mixing screwdrivers and shots of tequila at home. That's where it's at.
Dave, what about you there, Kardashian Dragon?
I mean, lately, nothing like a good cheese pizza. Oh my God, I watched Home Alone. It's all I've wanted is nice cheese pizza, but that's not. When you go to the games, for me, I mean, I've been to so many Celtics games. I've never been to a Patriots game because I don't like them. Doesn't make sense. I don't feel right in that arena. I wouldn't feel right in the stadium. But Red Sox, I've been to more Red Sox games than anything else that I've ever been to. And there's nothing like a Fenway sausage outside in the cart. $5, you know what I mean? There's nothing like a Fenway sausage.
But at 5, they're like 8.
Sausage King.
No, I mean, whatever. Even still, I mean, it's. I mean, we were going when we were younger. I think the price has gone up over the years. Yeah, it's probably $10 now. I mean, if
we will get a sausage even if we're not going to a game. Like if we're going to a concert, like if we're at the House of Blues, we will get a sausage after.
You just can't bring it in though. That's the only thing. So you got to eat it quick. But
you get it on the way home. Walking to the
way to play it though.
Or when you get there, walking around Lansdowne.
If it's a Sox game, I'll play it like start off at the House of Blues, tie a nice buzz on, walk out of there, get a sausage, walk into Fenway with the sausage, and kind of nurse that some mother for a while. That's where it's at.
Yeah, I never was allowed to bring it in. I don't know, whatever. I eat it afterwards, anyways. But yeah, no, definitely the best way to go for me. I think. I mean, nachos are just like, it's like crap cheese. You never get like good quality cheese. No, I'm not a big tendy guy. I'm not a fingers, nuggets, tender guy. Yeah, not really. So I don't know. For me,
because you're not 6.
Yes.
So Slashes,
you'd be surprised.
When you're hammered chicken fins.
Slashes, I know what you like because we tend to go to games together. So I'll let you start, and then I will fill in any blanks that there might be.
So, there's a couple of different things. So
I do want to touch on Dave's nachos, though.
Well, I will leave the nachos to you. But there's a couple of things. So first of all, if we're watching a game at home, we really only do stuff if it's like a big game. So if it's like a matchup that we're really looking forward to, or if it's playoff or whatever, well, usually Mexican's always really good. Obviously I'm a huge wino, so wine is always involved. Sometimes pizza, sometimes your typical like takeout.
Pizza's a solid go-to for any game.
Yeah. Although if it's up there in the playoffs, usually something sparkly and sushi.
Yeah. Stanley Cup.
Sushi for the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Where does the sushi come from?
Osaka.
Nice.
Yeah. Shrewsbury. It's good stuff.
Yeah, Osaka.
Yeah.
That's a hell of a takeout.
But if we're at the game, so I'm not usually a beer drinker, but there's something about drinking beer in a specific venue that just feels right. So like drinking a beer at Fenway Park,
or the garden,
just feels right. Yeah,
the
drinking,
garden.
like, and it's something that like I don't crave beer. I don't usually like it, but there's something about being in those specific venues where I'm like, I really want a beer in my hand right now. I mean, I might get one and nurse it for however long it takes me to drink it, but like it just feels right. And we don't usually get food inside the venue. We're a big either eat beforehand someplace around the venue,
hit up the fours,
or eat after, someplace around the venue. But I will let Patsy talk about those nachos that we had that one time.
So the last time we went to a Bruins game was for your 34th birthday, so 2019.
I thought you were going to say 20 years ago.
I was trying to remember. No, you are an immortal eldritch god, and your age has no meaning because time is irrelevant beyond the stars. They really upped their game at the Garden when it comes to concessions.
Especially when they renovated everything a couple years ago, they updated a lot of the, not all of them, but a lot of the food stands.
Healthy wraps, homemade meatball. I remember Cam sitting there reading those right after they had the strike, with him reading all the different options of what they were going to give people for the first game back. Homemade meatball, healthy wrap, fountain drink.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we got 2 beers and nachos, and the nachos, they had like shredded beef on them, or was it chicken? Whatever it was, it was so good. Like they weren't the crappy, essentially Lunchables nachos that you
melted
normally
cheese
get.
Whiz, yeah.
Like some tortilla chips with a piece of Kraft single melted on it. It was so good. Like it was high-end restaurant quality. It was that good. So I will say the nachos have significantly improved. But number one is the sausage after the game. Like if we're at Fenway, again, even if we're just on Lansdowne Street, like we're leaving the House of Blues because we went to a concert, we're hitting up the sausage stand. Like that's just.
I was with that for the most part previously until they opened the Sal's down at the end of the road. And then once there was Sal's right next to Fenway and they sold beer, that's always my go-to right after. So I'm not a couple minutes early and get like a quarter of a pizza slice.
Yeah, I'm not a big salad guy either.
Hell yeah.
Well, no, I was gonna say I'm not a big beer guy. So leaving I'll have my one beer during the game, and then I'll a dog or whatever at Fenway.
I will say
that. What do you want to remember it?
Yeah, right.
The food that they serve in the luxury boxes, so freaking good.
Never been.
Yeah, tell about your company trip. See, they did before I started working at the lab. Every year they did like this big company thing, and as soon as I started, they stopped doing it.
Well, no, that was before. That was before. Huge Christmas parties are not so economical these days. But anyways, so we found ourselves in a luxury box. This was back in 2009 at a Celtics game. And it was pretty freaking awesome. All you could eat, all you could drink in the luxury box. It was incredible.
You're pretty good, guy.
But some of the best seafood I've ever had was in that luxury box. They had, a bunch of different appetizers and pick and choose type stuff. And the food just kept coming. I mean, the drinks were flowing too. But I mean, every 5 minutes, it felt like another, wait staff person was bringing in something else for us to eat. Like we did not go hungry that night. But
and you charmed the championship ring off that guy's hand.
Oh yeah. Was it 2008?
It was the 08 championship.
Yep,
so they had just gotten
Yep.
their rings, and so the guy working in the stand, she's like, "Oh yeah, check it out," and she sent me a picture of her wearing
Yeah,
the Celtics
the
ring.
guys. So they, obviously, like the teams have the opportunity to give the rings to pretty much whoever works for them behind the scenes.
They should,
and
too,
the
yeah.
Celtics were pretty
they
generous
all
with the rings that they were giving. So the
especially
person
if it's
like
been a while.
he was like head of the concierge or whoever he was had a ring and he was wearing it, and everyone they even brought the trophy in for us too. We got to touch that and take pictures
The
with
Larry
that.
O'Brien Memorial.
But he, was showing off the ring, but he wasn't like letting anybody, people were like, oh my God, can I wear it? Can I take a picture with it? He was like, well, you could take a picture of it. And somehow, miraculously, I managed to get it off of his finger and onto mine and took some pictures with
Didn't
it.
you get his number?
He gave me I didn't ask for it. He gave me his number.
Yeah.
Still got it.
Well, we had been dating for like 3 months at that point. So
I know how to get what I want.
Oh, 3 months, really? Oh, geez.
Yeah. So that's pretty solid. Anybody watching, if you want to chime in with what you like to watch during game or what you like to eat or drink during games, please do. Now I'm hungry and I want nachos. So normally at this time we would take a quick break, but what we're going to do, we're just going to get right into our NHL preview stuff. So because Ash is on a time crunch, so we're going to just get right into. But the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up one of our bonus questions that you guys are not aware of. So the first thing we're going to do is this one. If the Bruins are floundering at the trade deadline, should they trade David Krejci or Tuukka Rask, both of whom are up at the end of the season? Dan, I will start with you.
I'd say I've heard this specific scenario for both of them floated out there every year for probably the past 6 years. Right after they signed Krejci, the time to trade Tuukka is the time to trade Krejci because of how much money he makes, even though they're running up. I know that, but somebody else is probably going to pay him. But I don't know. I don't see why not. If they're running up, if their contract's about to run, it makes sense. But I'd say with Rask, I mean, it all depends on which side you really land on him because, I mean, what's the backup plan? What's the contingency of somebody that's going to be as effective as him? I mean, somebody that he might be a pain in the ass and come off as a bitch sometimes, but he still performs at a high level pretty consistently. So, I mean, it all depends. I mean, you could go either way, but I probably would. I mean, it may be time because, you know what, I don't know that he's, at this point, the guy to get anything done because if he was, he would have by now. Mm-hmm. And the same with Krejci. I mean, that he has his moments, but I don't know that he's as consistent of a performer at his high level that you want for the kind of money that he's making when you compare it to other guys that are, the highest paid players on their team. So
I will say this for Krejci.
It should be a consideration if the haul is right, basically.
I will say this for Krejci. He is perennially among the league leaders in the playoffs in scoring.
Yeah, but they, even on years when they lose. So I mean,
right. So I mean, if the Bruins are out of it because of whatever reason, injuries or inconsistent play, and some team looking to make a push wants a veteran center.
Is he a system guy or is he not, though? That's another thing, too. I mean, he's always put in, really good positions. I mean, there would be people that would say, they should have put this guy next to him or they shouldn't have put that guy next to him, and it's not advantageous to, how he plays. But still,
he was doing the same thing with Stonehand Lucic next to him.
Yeah, nobody was calling him Stonehand Lucic when he was in town.
No, I was. And
nobody was. You were not. You were not.
Yes,
please.
Did I or did I not talk shit about how the goddamn side of how many times he missed the open net the last few years of his career here?
No, that's true. That's true.
I honestly would have thought. Yeah, I would have thought that you would have went against him too. Yeah. Nobody was talking to nobody. No, it's so true. So yeah, whatever. What can I say? But the general consensus. His last few years here, nobody was saying that. Nobody was. Everybody loved, dude, you can't trade Lucic guy. Come on, he's a high hitter. He's a grinder. He's the high of the team.
It's your buddy from Boston.
So, Dave, what about you? Do you trade Krejci.
What are you doing, Dave?
So here's the thing, though. They just probably won't do a trade, whether they should or not. They just don't do trades. They never make trades.
That's not true. It's not the Celtics. The Celtics don't make trades.
Big guys like that, I just don't see them going anywhere. They wouldn't. Even if they're playing bad, they'll still try to hold it together. They make moves.
Goalies are a premium. A good goalie is a premium.
I thought you were going to trade for a goalie, but I mean,
get rid of Krejci. Let him
halfway through the season, and you got to create that. I don't know. It's hard to change a team halfway through a year.
No, I'm saying I guess if they're down and they're out, they have no shot.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Let them go for nothing. Only because these two guys are up at the end of the year.
No, exactly. You never. It's the same with them. You never want to let somebody go that you could possibly
but a goalie
have them walk and lose and not get anything back for it. So yeah, I think they should. I don't think they will, in my opinion.
Krejci's an easier trade to make than Rats.
I love making moves. I do it all day. It's all I do in NBA and NFL, anything. I just make moves. So
it's like goalie's a linchpin until he gets diarrhea and can't play in the deciding game of the season. But I mean, it is what it is because
in the Olympics.
I mean, sometimes you get
the Olympics.
Sometimes you get the trucks, man. You can't go. I mean, I know the playoffs are on the line, the season's on the line, but you got the Spurs. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? But still, even that being said, he's still a premium player. I mean, it's undeniable. It's undeniable.
He'll be in the Vesna conversation, but we'll get to that.
He usually is. He usually is. And the worst part was they were doing so goddamn good before the break last year, before the whole pandemic nonsense hit. And that's the thing too. I think the likelihood of them being in the lower echelon. They got rid of Torrey Krug and they got rid of your favorite dead weight Chara. So I mean, what do they lose? Shouldn't they be better now?
Well, you getting rid of Torrey Krug is not an addition action.
Dude, I don't think that's okay. You think he added as much that they lose him and that's going to alter the makeup of the team and the direction that they can go? I don't think so.
No, but he was.
I don't think
he was good, and he's only 29, and he played significant power play minutes and penalty kills.
Yeah, so did Chara. He's part of the number one penalty
Chara
kill.
Was a liability.
Except for when he was on the penalty kill, which is also important. But if you're going to say that Torrey Krug was,
Didn't they have the worst penalty kill last year or something, though?
No, they certainly did not. They were the best team before the break.
No, I thought we were talking about that. They didn't do good with him on it or something.
No, he said liability. In general.
Just because two guys play on the same special team squad doesn't mean they have equal skill.
No, but if one guy does better, I mean, it's something to be said for that.
Yeah, and Krug was way better.
Yeah, Krug's not great. He wasn't way better. Dude, Krug wasn't way better than anybody. Wasn't way better than anybody. He might have been
way better than Chara.
A couple of steps. Nah, he wasn't way better than anybody.
All right. So Slashes, same question to you. Do you trade Krejci or Tuukka?
You trade Krejci, you keep Tuukka.
Okay.
Tuukka's one of the best goalies in the NHL, period. Like Krejci, I mean, I hate to say this because I do like the guy. I appreciate him being on the Bruins.
Alternate captain.
He's replaceable. He doesn't put up remarkable numbers.
I can't believe the paycheck. I never could believe the paycheck.
More than anybody on that team.
Yeah, he's not
never made any sense to me. Never made any sense to me.
And it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense for what you're spending on him. The output versus the input just doesn't match up. It doesn't.
Right.
I think they're wasting too much time and effort and money on him, and I'm really surprised. Now, and this is nothing against the guy. Like I said, I do think he's a fantastic player for the most part. He's had some really great seasons, but I mean, he's not performing like he used to. He's not consistent enough, and sometimes you can't even keep the guy healthy.
Yeah, he has gotten dinged up quite a bit last few years.
Quite a bit.
The best ability
it's like he's been out more than he's been in.
The most important stat in sports
is availability.
Is games played. That's the most important stat. Is games
best ability.
Because you can't do good if you're not. You get all the talent in the world. If you're not out there, it don't matter.
Right.
Decent forwards are a dime a dozen these days. There are a lot of decent centers, decent wings out there. Good goalies, not so much.
I don't know that I would necessarily agree with that.
So, and this is nothing to say about Krejci, behind the scenes. I know he's really important to the locker room. They feel the energy that he gives off. I mean, he has the A.
Yeah, he is an
He's
alternate
had the
captain.
A.
Yeah, no, I know. But I would say that these guys are more like 12 for 10 cents. You know what I'm saying?
No, Dan, what are you talking about? Jesus Christ.
What am I talking about? I literally said the exact same thing that she said. I said of a dime a dozen. I said 12 for 10 cents.
But they're not though.
I said a decent center, a decent forward, a decent wing.
A dime a dozen.
Decent, yeah. But
they're a dime a dozen.
Krejci's
I said
above.
they're 12 for 10 cents, you asshole.
Past the seasons, he hasn't been great. He's been decent.
See,
and he's decreasing in value year after year.
Only because of his
I agree.
He's younger than Bernie.
No, not at all. Hey, every year that goes by, they get worse, right? Every year that goes by, they get worse. That's your point. That was your thing.
Here's the thing. They've made some minor changes, but they don't completely overhaul the team. I feel like they need
It's needed. It's needed. Purge.
They need a guy who's gonna get in there and just score these goals. And I know they have Pasta, but like right now, we're gonna start the season without Pasternak.
Stars win games. I agree. They need a star. Stars win games. It's just how it goes.
It's a little different.
No, not in the NHL. They don't.
I'm just saying they score goals and put you in a better position.
Yeah, but you can have Ovechkin and not win.
But you can also
won one championship his entire
career. Always really good. They're always good every single year.
What I said was you can have Ovechkin and not win for a decade, which is what happened, and then he pushed through it. Hey,
he's 36. He's been playing in the league for 17 years, and he leads the league in score. He's number 2 in goals all time behind Gretzky, and he's got one ring, and it's from 2 years ago.
Proves my point. Exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying.
He's still nasty. He's
not necessarily translate to anything.
Oh,
Dave, the NHL is not the NBA.
I get it. You're still going to do better if you have better players. Is that not?
You could have a bunch of mediocre guys. You could have a bunch of mediocre guys.
It's nice for 1 year and went in and freaking.
2011, the Bruins did not have the best team. They didn't have the most talented offense. They had a hot goalie. That's what they had when they won the ring.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
And you know what? As much as I think they should keep Tuukka, I would love to be proved wrong on this. I don't think he has that kind of run in him. He needs talent around him. He's not going to be the reason that you win a cup. Is that he gets hot and goes crazy and all this, because I think he's kind of soft in several different ways. I wouldn't trade him, and a goalie is, again, a premium goalie is where it's at, but I don't know. I don't think he can do what Thomas did. I don't think he's gritty enough, if that makes sense.
No, there's not a whole lot of guys that can, and you very rarely see it. Usually it's a whole team, but like, the Kings with Jonathan Quick a few years ago.
Oh, dude, Quick's, that's a great example. Quick's not that great. What has he done since? Jack shit, nothing. Like, you know what I mean?
He got hot is what I'm saying. Like, he got hot.
I don't think Tuukka has it in him. I don't think he has the mental toughness to do it.
He's been in the finals 3 times.
Oh, the opportunity has been served up to him on not even a silver. It was like a platinum platter a couple times. Like, bro, all you got to do is just don't fuck this up. Like, just don't fuck this up.
Getting hot is not like a hockey thing. That's in every sport. If you have a hot goalie, a hot player, a hot pitcher in baseball, it's the same thing.
It's apples and football.
No, it's not. It's not. If you're in baseball and you guys are hitting hot, you got a hot bat, you're going in the playoffs, you're going to play well.
Right.
Football, you're playing well before the playoffs, you're going to play well. Basketball, you're rolling in. Hockey, you have a few games.
The Bears won 4 straight going into the playoffs. How'd that work?
That's not true. They lost in week 17 to the Packers.
The difference with baseball and hockey, though, is that the same pitcher's not going every year.
All I'm saying is the hot thing doesn't really just apply to hockey, is all I'm saying. Right. It's not like,
a hot goalie with a mediocre team can win a
absolutely. I agree. No, I agree.
A hot quarterback and a shitty team won't win.
Who?
Look at Blake Snell. He was playing really well last year for the Rays.
The coaches fucked it up.
I mean, just because you have
wow, you're killing it right now. Well, time to sit down, big guy. The stats say you should be on the bench, so sit down. And they threw the World Series away.
That's
right.
too much analytics.
So we've got some stuff. So Slashes, take away what we've got. Break down the season for us.
So this season is a little different than previous seasons because it's been cut short because of COVID. And with COVID protocols, you're seeing a change up of divisions. You're going to see new matches, and we're going to get that to that in a moment. But this season in particular is a 56-game regular season, which begins tomorrow, January 13th. Then they are, this must be something you added.
Yeah, they're considering wearing patches on their jerseys from sponsors, kind of like what the NBA does, because they're projected to lose $1 billion, which also ties into the next
sounds like a smart play. Sounds like a smart play.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I mean, I have mixed feelings about it, but you got to make money. And
do what you gotta do.
Soccer does. You make more money when you do. Why wouldn't you?
So the NHL is introducing, in lieu of a Winter Classic, because Winter Classic usually happens on New Year's Day, the NHL Outdoors at Lake Tahoe. So Saturday, February 20th at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, you'll have the Golden Knights versus the Avalanche. And Sunday, February 21st at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, you'll have the Flyers versus the Bruins. I think that's fantastic. It'll give fans and they're talking about fans actually being there because it's an outdoor venue. Well, I should say it's not a venue yet. They're going to create a venue for it.
Yes.
But I love the outdoor series that they do anyways. I think it's really cool that they give these players the opportunity to skate in different places where they wouldn't necessarily be able to skate, like Fenway Park,
Lake
like
Tahoe.
Gillette Stadium, like Lake Tahoe. And for, a hockey fan, like a lot of these players get their start playing backyard hockey on the local, frozen pond. So it's kind of a callback to that, which I think is going to be pretty fantastic, fun to watch. The trade deadline for this year is April 12th at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. The last day of the regular season is May 8th.
That's quick after the trade deadline.
Yeah, it comes up pretty fast. Playoffs start tentatively May 11th with Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals, if needed, on July 9th.
So that's like the last day of the season.
So those last
July
two
9th.
dates are subject to change. But so they're looking to end the season on the 8th. They're looking to start playoffs on the 11th and have July 9th be the final day of the Stanley Cup Finals if necessary, which, I think they're predicting having a normal normal-ish off season.
Because they have the expansion.
Right. There's that. So we're going to,
which is like a week later.
Release the Kraken. We're
Yep.
going to see the Kraken as an official team next season. But I think they're planning on they want to start next season, the 21-22 season, in a normal fashion. They're hoping that they can kind of get back into the swing of things. So that's why this season is so short, to kind of accommodate for everything. So opening night, so that is tomorrow, January 13th. We have the Penguins versus the Flyers, the Blues versus the Avalanche, the Canucks versus the Oilers, the Canadians versus the Maple Leafs, and the Blackhawks versus the Lightning.
Oh.
Which, I mean, some of those matchups are fantastic. What a hell of a way to kick off the hockey season.
Blackhawks versus Lightning. The Lightning going to win that like 8-2.
But and some
Not a prediction? Is that a prediction?
Well, considering the Lightning just won the Stanley Cup and the Blackhawks lost their best 1A player and their top rookie and their goalie, it's going to be
I marked it. I marked it 8-2. Got it down.
I don't know if it's that's going to be the final score, but
you just said that was going to be the final score.
I said like 8-2.
Everyone says like. I don't believe it. I'm writing it down. Let's see what happens.
It's going to be.
If it was 8-2, you'd be like, I called that.
Well, I said like.
Tell me you would. No. If it was 8-2, he'd say, "See,
we'll see. I'm excited.
And then it would be that.
I would be surprised. I would be surprised if.
Yeah, I'm not betting.
No. I would be surprised if the Blackhawks scored 2, but I'm giving Patrick Kane some.
So what's the score?
Credit.
So
I
what's
have
the
no
score?
idea, but I think the
Yeah,
Lightning are
never
going to
did.
blow them out.
Oh, they do lines in hockey, like
Of course they do.
Yeah, but I'm saying like up to like 6. You think a team would get like 6 goals? I don't think so. That's insane.
No, they'd give them
Depends on
like
how
1.5.
lopsided it is, just like everything else.
3.
They take everything into consideration.
Yeah, 3 would be a lot. I feel
3
like
would be a lot.
I'm just wondering. Yeah, that's a lot of goals. All right, no, I'm just wondering.
Whatever it is, I would take the Lightning giving pretty much whatever it is. Because that's a huge disparity, huge disparity in talent between those two teams.
Slow.
So
you're like behind us, yeah.
You were in slow motion just now.
Well, we've got some division realignment,
Now you're
and
good.
you were talking about you don't like the sponsored names.
Well, I get it again because the NHL has lost a lot of money, and the NHL isn't as money hungry as the NFL. I think the NFL is the most money hungry, of all the sports things. And the NBA can be as well. But I get it. Like, I get it. I just hate the fact that these new divisions, and granted, for right now, this is only for this season. It's not going to, hopefully next season we'll be
we hope.
Go back to normal. But we have 4 new divisions this season. And what's kind of cool is these new divisions will kind of reignite some old rivalries while sparking some new ones.
Yes.
So starting with the North Division, the Scotia North Division, we have the Calgary Flames, the Edmonton Oilers, the Montreal Canadiens, the Ottawa Senators, the Toronto Maple Leafs, the Vancouver Canucks, and the Winnipeg Jets.
Yeah, all
so
Canadians.
It's all Canadians. Like that's pretty exciting. I'm not gonna lie.
And it's the only division with only 7 teams.
And this is going to but I mean, it makes sense because they realign these divisions in order to try to cut down on travel time, cut down on potential COVID stuff. So it makes sense that you would keep our international teams.
There is
up north.
Like you keep all the Canadian teams in Canada.
The Great White North.
I will say the Honda West division has one team that just like I kind of feel bad for them because they're going to have to do a lot more traveling.
They should have called the Scotia North Division the Justin Trudeau Special.
The Tim Hortons. The Tim Horton Cup.
So we have the Honda West Division, which consists of the Anaheim Ducks, the Arizona Coyotes, the Colorado Avalanche, which looks sick this year, the LA Kings, the Minnesota Wild, the San Jose Sharks, St. Louis Blues, and the Vegas Golden Knights.
Yeah, Minnesota being the one team that's not kind of all bunched up in that Arizona, Nevada, and California corridor there. Well, St. Louis is kind of far out as well, but at least they're kind of on the same level, like the same parallel. Like they just kind of fly left, and they'll be fine.
And so that brings us to the Discover Central Division, which consists of the Carolina Hurricanes, the Chicago Blackhawks, Columbus Blue Jackets, Dallas Stars, Detroit Red Wings, Florida Panthers, Nashville Predators, and the Tampa Bay Lightning.
And this division is nuts because it has the 2 Stanley Cup finalists in the same division, which is unprecedented in modern sports. Back in the day, there was only like 8 teams. That happened all the time. But now, usually it's East versus West, North versus South, AFC versus NFC. There's always a differential as far as location goes. But this is nuts. Like this is going to be one to watch because you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So six of those 8 teams were in the play-in and playoff games last year.
That's pretty crazy.
That's going to be nuts.
Yeah.
And that brings us to
the Mass Mutual East Division, which consists of the Boston Bruins, the Buffalo Sabres, the New Jersey Devils, New York Islanders, New York Rangers, Philadelphia Flyers, Pittsburgh Penguins, and the Washington Capitals.
Now, this is going to be interesting because you have, let's see, the Bruins, the Islanders, the Flyers, the Penguins, and the Capitals, who were all so another division with 6 of last year's playoff teams.
So the top 4 teams in each division will make the playoffs, just as it used to be from 1981 to 1993, when the divisions were named the Norris, Smythe, Patrick, and Adams divisions, which makes a little more sense.
Now, 3 of those I know are currently trophies. The Norris Trophy for the best defenseman, the Conn Smythe as the playoff MVP, and the Jack Adams Award as the best coach. I don't know the Patrick, and I should be familiar with that. But did Campbell's Soup at least sponsor the Western Conference? No, I don't think they did. And there is no West. It's North, South.
There's a West.
I'm sorry, North, West, East, and Central.
There's no South.
Right, no South. East, West, North, and Central, which is weird.
Sounds like basketball.
So,
East, South, North Division.
Next,
Northwestern.
We got another. So now we just went through all the divisions and the lineups of the realignment, I should say. Over under for the Bruins. Last year they had 100 points in 70 games, won the President's Trophy. Over under 77.5 points with 56 games.
Over.
Dave?
I'm going over. I'm going to go over. I always go over.
I'm going under because they're not going to have Pasternak for a month.
Well, you're a chump, okay? You're a chump to say that. You don't believe in the team. How dare you?
I mean, they might have. I don't have them.
You don't
winning the
deserve
division.
to wear that jersey.
Yeah. I don't have them winning the division. So how's that? I told you I am realistic when it comes to.
You don't have the Bruins winning their division?
I do not. I do not have them winning the East.
No, I do not.
You do?
No, I don't. So, speaking of which,
you're gonna root against them this year, or
no? So speaking of which, now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's talk about who we think the playoff teams are going to be. So I will go first because I have it at the ready, and you can go next, Slashes. Because you and we have a lot of similar picks. So in the East Division, I have the Flyers winning that division because I think they are young and hungry, and I think they're going to be pretty badass this year. I got the Bruins, the Islanders, and the Penguins also in the playoffs from the East. In the West, I have the Avalanche winning that division. I have the Golden Knights, the Blues, and the Sharks. Central, I have the Lightning winning that division, which you kind of have to, considering they are the defending champs. You got to give them that. The Stars, again, just in the Stanley Cup playoff, and I think they can weather not having Sagan and Ben Bishop. The Blue Jackets and the Predators. And then in the North, I think the Maple Leafs win that division. I think the Oilers are close because they have just so much fucking offensive talent that I think they can outscore some teams in the regular season, but I don't know what they're going to do in the playoffs. Flames and Jets. Now, out of those divisions, I think the final 4 teams, because I don't know how they're doing it. I think they're doing 1 through 16, and they're seeding them that way, which would make the most sense. Because again, you'd have to the North play the Central, the East play the West. You're going to have to get into a bubble, like the whole thing again. I have the Bruins coming out of the East, the Avalanche coming out of the West, the Lightning coming out of the Central, and the Maple Leafs coming out of the North. Now, this gives us a bunch of really interesting and fun potential matchups. Bruins Avalanche would be great. You have, this old veteran team against this up and coming young team. The Maple Leafs against the Bruins. how great would it be for the Bruins to knock the Maple Leafs out of the playoffs? Like after all the strides that they've made, just like they always have, because the Maple Leafs are like, the Cubs used to be, like forever without a championship.
Always will be.
Bruins Lightning, that'd be a great matchup because those guys have had like some heated rivalry over the last couple of years, and the Lightning just knocked them out this past year. Even Avalanche Lightning, like that would be a hell of a matchup. Like those are some very talented teams with a lot of offensive firepower and strong defense. So that's my pick. Slashes, how about you?
So Final Four in the East, we have the Bruins, the Penguins, the Flyers, and the Capitals. Final Four of the West, we have the Golden Knights, the Avalanche, the Blues, and the Wild. Final Four in the Central Division, we have the Stars, the Blue Jackets, the Lightning, and the Predators. And Final Four in the North, we have the Jets, the Maple Leafs, the Oilers, and the Canadiens. I think the Canadiens are going to be, especially playing other Canadian teams, I think they're going to step their
It all depends on what Carey Price shows up.
No, that's true. That's true. But so I have the Bruins taking it in the East, the Avalanche taking it in the West, the Lightning taking it in the Central, and the Oilers taking it in the North. The Oilers look good.
Yeah, they do.
They look really good.
And McDavid.
There are a few teams that are looking pretty promising already. The Oilers being one, the Avalanche being the other.
Yeah, both of those teams made some noise in the playoffs.
And a lot of analysts are already saying that they predict the Avalanche to win the Stanley Cup.
I mean, I think with
McKinnon getting the Conn Smythe,
there could be a scoring race between McKinnon and McDavid, or McKinnon and Draisaitl, depending on who gets the upper hand in that. Because I think Draisaitl just got MVP last year.
He did.
Yeah. Boss Rushmode has presented us a question that we'll quickly get to before I get to your guys' predictions. Who is going to be the next Canadian-based team to win the Stanley Cup, and will it happen in the next 5 years?
Yes, the Oilers.
Yeah, pretty much.
Edmonton looks good. They have some studs on their team. They look really promising.
Shore up that defense.
They've been working on their team for the past few years.
Oh, when you have the number one overall pick like every fucking year, you should be pretty good.
They haven't made much noise over the past few years, but they looked good last year too.
Yeah, give them. They're getting some experience under their belt. Obviously they have the offense taken care of.
It's like they took the time to build a team. And I think we're going to start seeing the reward of them taking that time to build that team.
They've made some errors, and they've had to get rid of some of these guys, like Taylor Hall. He just didn't pan out for them, but we've had a conversation about Taylor Hall in the past. But he says he thinks they'll just miss the 5-year window. But he agrees with the Oilers.
Mm-hmm.
So, Dan, who are your picks?
Well, it's tough to say. I'm not as well versed in a lot of these other divisions. So I was looking through them. I figured I'll kind of mix some stuff up here a little bit. Like I like Edmonton, the Scotia North, and actually sold me on them, quite frankly. Kings, go with the Kings. In the Discover Central. I would have to say Lightning. As many different options that there are. It's so weird the way they all got mixed up. Whereas you kind of be more familiar with the way that things were set up before, and kind of the divisions and the way they shook out, and kind of who were the power, and it kind of mixes it up a little bit when you're putting everybody in these different bins. I'm gonna go with the Boston Bruins in the Mass Mutual East Division, which again I will say sounds like a basketball division. But yeah, that's where I'm at.
How about you there, Kardashian Dragon?
I'm going to take the Blackhawks in the Central. Those are my boys.
I
I applaud you for you. Stay faithful.
I will. I root for my Chicago team. I almost picked Dallas Stars, but I got to say
he picked Chicago unless Dallas is playing.
Yeah, well, I really like that. So
Chicago.
I'm a Bulls fan though, but okay, East. I'm going to go New York Islanders, team of the future. I say.
They did just sign. They did just re-sign Matthew Barzal, but they did lose Johnny Boychuk to a career-ending eye injury.
Well, he was old. Whatever.
Sucks for him, but oh no.
He's 36.
So that's a quote from Heavyweights, though. By the way, just so everybody knows.
You have to explain every quote.
I had to explain it,
sometimes
just in case they didn't know. All right.
Better let it flow.
North. North. I'm going to go with the Canadiens.
Definitely
you laugh at me.
Definitely not the first Canadian hockey team that's going to be winning a cup anytime.
You laugh at me, but whatever. We'll see what happens. And then I guess in the West, I'm going to go. Are they still the Anaheim Ducks? Are they still the Ducks?
They are still the Ducks.
I'm going Ducks.
The utter knowledge. There's just sheer amount of hockey knowledge.
I have a lot of hockey knowledge. There was a D. I just wanted to make sure. I mean, I don't know. Maybe something changed. I didn't know about it. So.
They're not the Bombay Ducks.
Yeah, not the Bombay.
Speaking of Ducks, did you guys know that Disney Plus is going to be releasing a Mighty Ducks TV series
with
Emilio Estevez reprising his role?
Oh, wait a minute. So what we're saying is
Disney's work.
Disney is trying to use the Cobra Kai formula on Mighty Ducks.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, not a bad idea. They'll bring them all.
They're gonna do the Happy Gilmore. Somebody's gonna take their skate off and try to stab a guy.
They're gonna resurrect Hans and have him come in.
Maybe they can get Goldberg off the crack rock. We'll see what happens.
Hey, Hans has diplomatic immunity. Okay.
Yeah, he does. That he does.
Ziguri!
Oh, dude! No,
Ian Thompson.
He just hit the nail on the head. So the bad guy from the second one, the Wolf, he'll be like he'll be the Johnny Lawrence.
Who was the dentist guy? Wasn't
Gordon Bombay's Ralph Macchio. The dentist. Well, he was the Wolf.
Hunter Stahl's going to show up as the coach.
Who's the dentist? I thought he was the dentist. The funniest part about that movie is the third one when they're all start quacking with the new coach, and he goes, "What the hell is that? Cut that out right now! It's the fucking stupid idiots! What are you doing? What the hell is that?" He's like, yell at these little kids, and I don't want to hear about ducks. I want to hear about no ass. Oh God, that's great. That's hilarious. All right, let's keep going.
So let's jump back to the outline.
Do you think the Ducks quack in the locker room?
At least 3 of them do.
I would.
At least 3 of them. All right. So the announcement that I know you have been dying to make.
Patrice Bergeron has been officially named the Bruins captain.
Tell him about this.
Good for him.
So this is exciting. We all knew it was coming. So well deserved. He earned it. The difference between him and Chara is Chara had it in his contract when he was signed to the Bruins. I will play for you, but I want to be your captain. He took over the Joe Thornton role when Thornton went to San Jose. Patrice Bergeron earned it. This wasn't a contract thing. Like, he's been playing for so long. Like, he earned
17 years.
He earned it. And he's only been playing for the Bruins. He's a lifer. Like, it just makes sense. It just makes sense.
You're telling what you told me.
Yeah. So there's this video going around. Then there's some fantastic videos, tribute videos of,
I teared up at the tribute video.
These are the previous captains leading up to, Bergeron and, him wearing the C and everything. Like, it looks so good. But anyways, in the locker room, this was, a team meeting that they were having. They were talking about, this is something that we have to do. We've waited long enough. We would like to, we're going to name our team captain. And they had a decoy jersey made up for Marchand, the 63 with the C, and gave the captainship to Marchand. They called Marchand up, and there was somebody in there obviously taking video, and the person panned over to Bergeron's face. Who, I mean, and granted, they were all masked, but like he was really stoic. Like, dude is such a team player. He did not look disappointed. He did not look let down in any way, shape, or form.
He was all like, "Mon Dieu, this is bullshit."
So Marchand goes up and he, accepts the jersey from Sweeney. And Marchand's like, "Yeah, guys, this isn't real. We all know who the new captain is." And they called up Patrice Bergeron and give him his proper jersey, and Bergeron gives a nice little spiel and stuff. But it was just kind of funny. They're all hugging and stuff.
I had nothing prepared. Oh yeah, I had nothing prepared. So let me just read my speech. I have
yeah.
Surprise to me.
Oh, this is so unexpected.
Yeah. Hold on a second.
It was off the cuff. Sometimes Bergeron, he's gotten better with his.
I promised to do a good hockey and
no, he doesn't sound like that. He's gotten better with his public speaking and stuff, but you could tell that he, I think everyone kind of knew it.
Everybody knew, even Chara said he should be the captain.
But I think it means something. It signals this new. A new Bruins team. I mean, I know it's not a new Bruins team, but sometimes a change in captainship is all that it takes.
I want to add this in because Ash and I both were excited about this. The Bruins are retiring Willie O'Ree's number 22 on February 18th. He will be the 12th person to have their number retired. He was the first black player in the NHL. All NHL players will wear helmet decals in celebration of the 63rd anniversary of O'Ree's first game in the NHL. And the decal features an image of O'Ree wearing his trademark fedora with the word "celebrating equality." And I think this is a great time to do this.
Well, and
the
anniversary of his first game. So, like you said, it's the 63rd anniversary. But his first NHL game was January 18th, which this year just happens to be Martin Luther King Day. So, they're going to be observing that day as well. And I think it's a really great way for a few years ago, the NHL started this thing where hockey is for everyone, and which it is. And they do a lot of LGBT stuff and try to, include everyone. So I think this is just kind of like the next step off of that. A way to make a statement without beating you over the head with it, without it's almost like it's just classy. Like it's really classy. It's a classy thing to do. It's a nice thing to do. A way to honor this person who, the baseball does it with Jackie Robinson.
Yep, they retired his number a while ago.
So I think it's about time. It's fitting. It's appropriate. I think a lot of people like to keep politics and sports separate, but at the same time, politics affects the people who are playing the sports that you're watching for entertainment. Therefore, it is political in a sense, and I think it's just the right thing to do.
Yeah, I agree completely. All right, so I'm going to do a quick twofer on these questions. So first one, this should be a quick one, and Slashes, I'm going to start with you. Who will be the Bruins MVP this year?
Pasternak, when he comes back. I think I think the team is going to do well without him. They're going to win games, and we know this. We know that they can win games without him, but that top line moves so much better with him in it.
Yes.
The dynamic of Bergeron and Marchand and Pasternak, it just works. It just works, and you really can't replace that Pasternak a position with anybody else. I mean, you can.
I mean,
obviously,
the dude
they
won
will.
the Rocket Richard. If they had a full season, he would have scored over 50 goals.
Right.
Like he had 48. He tied with Ovechkin.
he's healthier. He's still not ready to play yet. He's practicing though.
Yeah, he's supposed to be out till
it's-
February. So starting mid.
But I mean, if you think about it,
mid-January
that's
should
a
help.
couple weeks.
Right, but he's mid-February, so about a month. But when they were talking originally about starting January 1st, it's like, now he's going to be out 6 weeks instead of 4. Like Marchand wasn't supposed to be playing.
But he's really
but he's
working
back
hard.
already.
He's doing what he's supposed to be doing in order to condition himself and build himself back up,
As
so he
opposed to
can
partying and
rejoin.
drinking.
Right, like he really wants to join this team. He wants to play with Bergeron as his captain. He's really excited for this season. I think they're just really excited to have a season in general because that was up in the air for the longest time. But B, he's just this is a game that he loves. He wants to get back in it and he wants to play.
Yeah. So, Dave, who will be the Bruins MVP this year?
Rask.
Rask. Dan?
If Rask is their MVP, they're going deep. I'm going to say McAvoy.
Yeah, I thought about
I want that to happen. I want it to happen. And not my favorite, but I think this would be such a huge spot. If that happened, that might be symptomatic of where they're at. If he's the dude and he's delivering on defense and showing what's what, they're in a really good spot. Just by virtue of that.
McAvoy and Grzelcyk are going to shine in defense this year.
I'm going to pick.
Great.
I'm going to pick Brad Marchand as my Bruins MVP.
Always my favorite. Still my favorite Bruin.
So,
hands down.
With that being said, who will lead the team in goals and assists?
Like together or separate?
No, like who will lead in goals and who will lead in assists?
Pasternak in
Marchand.
Dave?
Maybe the captain will do it this year. Maybe the C on his chest. Maybe he'll do it.
Which goals or assists?
What?
Goals or assists?
Goals. Assists, maybe. Jesus.
Last year, Marchand led the team in assists, and Pasternak led the team in goals.
Yeah, maybe Pasternak will lead in assists this year.
That'll be interesting.
Yeah.
Slashes.
Pasternak in goals, and I think it's going to be a toss-up between Marchand and Bergeron for assists. I'm going to go Bergeron for assists. I mean, he's a playmaker anyways. I have a feeling that he's going to he takes this new captainship role really seriously, and he's using it like he wants to be the same person, which I get. He doesn't want it to change him. He doesn't want it to go to his head, but he's such a natural leader to begin with.
I think it'll elevate his play.
But I think he will. Yes, I think he wants to be a good example for his team, and I think that it's going to elevate his play. So I'm going to say Bergeron for assists.
I'm going to go Bergeron and Marchand in assists. I think they'll be close, if not tied. And I think healthy and rested and reinvigorated, Pasternak leads the team in goals. So we're almost done with our previews. We just got a little bit left, and then we will get to our predictions. So Pasternak being out for the foreseeable future, the forward lines will look thusly. Marchand, Bergeron, and Jack Studnicka, who played fairly well in the playoffs last year after coming up out of Providence, not really getting any playing time. And you can't spell Studnicka without stud.
Studnicka.
He just has a really
That's NKA, right?
Nicka.
That's one of those 25-cent sports names. I love them. That's a good sports name, Studnicka.
The second line will be either Jake DeBrusk or Par Lindholm, probably DeBrusk, especially because they just re-signed him, with Krejci and Andre Kasha. I'm looking for big things from Kasha. He disappointed. And the one that I'm really upset with, Nick Ritchie is back with Coyle and Smith, the kid they just signed, Craig Smith. the kid they just signed. And then Anders Bjork, Frederick kid. I don't know who he is. With Corrali and Wagner. Losing Nordstrom was big. I liked that Nordstrom, Corrali, Wagner line. Like, they played really well together. I liked them a lot.
Yeah, but Bjork is one to watch.
I would put Bjork. I would prefer Bjork instead of
the last 2 seasons. Everybody been looking for Bjork. Who else is like on the come? Like I'm not as familiar these days. Like as the season goes on, you kind of hear about the comings and goings back and forth with.
It's mostly.
I'm saying with the minor league team, like there's always all these names. Are there any names that you guys have heard that you read like that stick out or? Like on the come, you know what I mean? Like right on the bubble.
Jeremy Lozon. He's going to be.
He's been back and forth a couple times, yeah.
Well, that's the defensive. Like right now, the defensive pairings are Lozon and McAvoy, Grzelcyk and Carlo, Zaboral and Miller, who apparently looks really good after missing like essentially a year and a half with all these injuries. He looks really good. And then John Moore and Connor Clifton. So 2 of those guys are going to be out. If I'm guessing, probably Zaboral and Moore aren't going to be in. You'll probably have Clifton and Miller as your third pair.
I wouldn't hate that.
No, I would. To get back to what I was saying about the forward lines, though, I would rather have Bjork on the third line with Coyle and Craig Smith. No Nick Ritchie, because that dude takes stupid fucking penalties at stupid fucking times.
Well,
and I would rather have Nordstrom, Corrali, Wagner on my fourth line.
I'm interested to see exactly, what they did during this off season. Because, especially with a new captain, there are certain things that Bergeron doesn't stand for.
Yeah.
And I know
he did
he's
help
not going
get
to
Marchand under control.
Right?
But that's an issue, kid. He's somebody that's kind of been back and forth a couple times, no?
Studnicka? Is that what you just said?
Senyshyn.
Oh, Zach Senyshyn?
Yeah.
He's gonna be starting the season down in Providence, and
that's what I was saying before. Like
there was another kid too
back and forth. Like you got Ritchie, you got Senyshyn, like Shen was around a couple times.
I don't know.
I think
there was another kid that
I don't know. I haven't kept up much with the Providence Bruins. I don't know how they're looking right now, but I mean, who's to say that somebody doesn't blow out of the AHL into the NHL?
Oh yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. So the reason why I bring this up, just the kind of climate we're in, where injuries are a regular part of the game as it is, but COVID's now a part of the game. So people trace, contacting and all this stuff. Like it's, I think that they might be dipping into Providence quite a bit. And I'm just saying those are a couple names that we've seen back and forth from Providence to the main squad a couple of times, like Senyshyn and the Richies and guys like this. We've seen a couple of times. Yeah, ultimately get sent back down, but I'm just curious to see what I don't know too much about those dudes, but there's a lot of these familiar names. I think they have a pretty damn good farm system. I think historically.
They do. Yeah.
That's something that usually you can usually count on. I was thinking Senyshyn and I keep calling him Guy Ritchie. Nick Ritchie. Oh, you want to call him Guy Ritchie? He's coming up and going to play for the squad, right?
Vakanainen, that's the kid I was trying to remember his name. Uro Vakanainen, who played a bunch for the Bruins last year.
So you're gonna have to worry about this. Like really, like Studnicka he's listed on Providence roster, so there's really some mixing and matching.
He's got a two-way deal, but he's your top line forward, which shows you the faith that they have in there.
Right. No, that's what I'm saying. He can't be the only one. There's some studs, I think, in the making down there. So that's dope. And there's going to be some back and forth with all this shit happening. People sitting games and postponing games. If it's happening in the NBA, it's going to happen in the NHL. It seems.
I disagree. The NHL is so much better about it. But we'll see. We'll see.
The way they designed it with the divisions and everything, where it's not as going coast to coast. I mean, who knows? I mean, I think that maybe that's the answer. Maybe that's the answer. Because the bubble, you can't go.
Nobody wants to do it.
Go play 5 months.
Nobody
They'll do it in the playoffs again, I think.
If they get that far, Celtics are fucking postponed until tomorrow.
Well, I think that's why they tried to, they're being really strict.
Just keep it there. Yeah, it seems like a good play. I think they might have a good thing on their hands. I just don't think you can rule it out as something that might cause division within the roster. That's all.
Yeah, and they're being really strict with their COVID protocol as well. Plus, with hockey, you don't hear about all of these guys going out and partying and all of these other stories that you hear coming out of the NBA or the NFL.
Yeah, nobody was inviting girls back to their place. Like
that's true.
The fucking Blues were having like video game nights and playing Nintendo 64.
Listen, you're correct, but if the NHL was to not have any positive tests or no outbreaks, they'd be the only ones.
Well, I mean, they've already had positive tests.
I don't think the odds are with them that there's not going to be an outbreak.
The odds are against them.
Let's be real. You're the only professional teams that don't do it.
You have 2 teams in Florida. You have
it happened in baseball, it happened in football, it happened in basketball.
Let's hope it doesn't.
Hockey's a different mindset.
But, they're
around girls and drink. Come on now, let's be real. But I think they might have the best shot because of the way they sectioned it up.
And the hockey player mentality is much different from any other sport.
Yeah, we don't see. Hockey players don't like to get laid on the road. Let's be real. Come on now.
Well, I mean, in all honesty, they play a lot of games.
Yes, so do
a lot of games to be played. With
but they're playing fewer games than NBA.
Well, this is true. And their road schedule is a little different than theirs. But I think that the veteran players do a really good job of keeping younger players in check.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of respect to be had in this.
That's what it's a different mindset.
We're saying that the NHL is so strict and buttoned down with these millionaires out there on the road.
They're not balling like NBA players.
Obviously,
so
they're
it's
not.
a lot different. It is.
Nobody in the NHL makes $50 million.
So they're not like balling out like
I didn't say it's not going to happen. I said it's a different.
It's probably going to happen. It just seems inevitable.
Different mindset, and it's a whole different mentality. These guys don't have guaranteed contracts. These guys can get fined. Like their union isn't as strong as the NBA.
Yeah.
Just like football players. What are you talking about?
Not like NBA though. NBA is the guys.
Football is the most strict, and it happened to a million teams. It happened to the Patriots and the Browns and everybody for nothing other than going out to eat. Do hockey players not eat? Do they not go out to eat in restaurants? I mean,
they have. It's a different mentality. It's different type.
News. Yes, I know you said that literally 26 times 30 seconds ago. Yep. It's not news that hockey players generally have a more laid back and less going out and partying kind of way of being than other professional athletes do. It's true, but it literally happened in every single other sport that's come back. So to think that these guys aren't going to go out to eat, that's what happened to Cam Newton. It ran through the Patriots because Cam Newton and one other dude went out to eat after the practice one night. So if that's what happened, you think that these guys aren't going to go to restaurants? Like, seriously. I know they have a different mentality. You don't have to tell me again because I understand. Hockey players are a different breed than all these other ones. They're not balling out and partying. But it doesn't take balling out and going to strip clubs and ordering fried chicken to do it. It takes going out to dinner one night and inadvertently having it happen. Maybe wearing your mask down around your mouth and not your nose. Who knows? Who knows? But it's happened everywhere. In every walk of life, and literally in every sport, there's been outbreaks. So to think that it couldn't happen because these guys have a different mentality, silly.
Well, we weren't saying that it's not going to happen.
You will not see you won't see it as rampant as it was in baseball, football.
That's naive.
We'll see, but I'm telling you, it's not going to be remotely as rampant as it was in the NFL, the NBA.
Most of these other sports, other than basketball, is that outbreaks play outside. So they play inside and they're in close quarters with a good amount of people, more than there is out there on a basketball court. So if it can happen there, it can happen anywhere. I mean, let's be real.
Basketball is a lot more compact, less
physical, so less people hitting into each other and having close contact. Yeah. No, it's
Yeah.
Well, I guess we'll see. I think it's a good spot to just drop this and move on.
A rink is a lot bigger.
Okay, well, I think it's a good spot to drop it and move on. We have
So-
other things to talk about.
not football yet.
So we Bergeron is not the only new captain.
No, we have two other new captains named heading into the 2021 season. Jared Spurgeon, defenseman for the Minnesota Wild. He's been with the team since 2010, named captain before this season started. And Ryan O'Reilly, center for the St. Louis Blues, the 2019 Conn Smythe Trophy winner, named captain for the St. Louis Blues.
Taking over for Alex Pietrangelo, who left in the offseason. Mike Milbury is out as an analyst after his insensitive comments in the playoffs last year. He got suspended, and now he is done after 14 years. Is not being brought back. Corey Crawford this year signed a 2-year deal, $7.8 million with the Devils, and has decided to retire instead. He is a 3-time champion with the Blackhawks. So let's get into. I think I have one more question, and then we'll get into our. No, I have 2 more questions. First is, if they don't trade them, who should be the priority to sign after this year, Krejci or Tuukka?
Tuukka.
Dan?
Yeah, Tuukka.
Dave?
If my prediction is correct, then yeah, it'll definitely be Tuukka then.
I think Tuukka. Depending on how he plays. And then my last question, and I'm thinking yes on this one. Will Chara retire before the end of the year because of lack of playing time?
No, he'll finish out. He won't retire before the end of this season, but depending on what happens with the Capitals, as far as, do they get into the playoffs? How long is their playoff run?
How does he play? How much does he play?
Right. So, Chara is, or does he get injured? That should be does Chara get injured?
He generally does. He's generally healthy. I mean, the dude did play the Stanley Cup with a broken jaw.
Well, I mean, like he's
older now, but yeah, we'll stand. That's how.
Well, this is 2 years ago. He was playing with a broken jaw.
Just saying.
He's
definitely a quitter. I don't think he'll quit.
He's a workhorse.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like he comes from a mentality where you show up and you do your job and you do what's expected of you. You do.
He's from an Eastern Bloc country.
You try to do what's expected of you. You people are relying on you, and you do not want to let them down.
Yeah, if you have the ability to,
and he's not going to let him. And we know this as Bruins fan. We know Chara played for us for 14 years.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't want to like that. That's like one of the worst things for him. Is letting his team or feeling like he's let his team down. So he's not going to want to let his new team down. Now, who's to say that he doesn't get injured and has to end his, career or, what? I mean, I hope it doesn't come to that. But do I see Chara retiring after this season of hockey, regardless of how long it is? Yes.
Okay. That's fair. So now let's get into our, let me just take that banner off because we don't need it anymore. Where'd it go? Chara retire. All right. So now let us get into our predictions for awards. So let's start off with I'll throw it over to the Dragon and Dan. Who is your pick for MVP, the Hart Memorial Trophy?
I don't know. Who won it last year?
Leon Draisaitl.
I don't think so.
Well, I will say, if we look at it in a different front, looks like from what I've seen, Nathan McKinnon of the Avalanche has best odds, plus 550.
How about that dude from the Islanders?
I was gonna say Austin Matthews. Austin Matthews is behind him.
The dude from the Islanders?
No. He's on the Maple Leafs.
Which dude from the Islanders?
You said they got some good dude. I don't know.
Well, no, I said they re-signed Matthew Barzal.
I was going to say Drysdale's on the he's plus 1,000. So
Draisaitl plays with Connor McDavid, so
which is also a help.
He plays for the Islanders.
Edmonton Oilers.
I'm taking whoever the best player is on the Islanders.
Oh my God. Ashes?
So I have Nathan McKinnon from the Avalanche winning the Hart. He won the Lady Byng Memorial Trophy last year. He looks really promising. I mean, like I said, the Avalanche in general look really, 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 really good, but this kid's got it.
I mean, he plays with Landeskog.
Got it, and I think that we're going to see him kind of break out a little bit more this year.
Gabriel Landeskog, when he got to that team at 19, he was named captain. So
such a good name too. God, a lot of good sports names in hockey.
I also went with Nathan McKinnon, but I have Bergeron. If the Bruins perform really well, I think it's going to be because Bergeron is driving that. He might not put up all the stats, but it's going to be because he is driving that bus, and I have him as a dark horse.
He's a playmaker.
Next, the Art Ross Trophy for most points in a season. Who do you guys got?
You know what? It's hometown bias. I'm going Marchand just because I picked him for both goals and assists. So he's going to just be racking it up.
Who's the other one? Austin, you said?
Austin Matthews.
Yeah, I'll take him.
Okay. Who do you got?
So I have Connor McDavid from the Oilers. So last year he had 97 points and finished second behind his teammate Leon, I can't say that name.
Draisaitl,
who had 110 points.
So combined, they almost were Gretzky's best season.
Yeah. So I think that Connor McDavid, I mean, those two alone, that's why, I think that the Oilers have a really promising season ahead of them. But I think that Connor McDavid is going. I mean, like the difference between 97 and 110, like that's really close.
I mean, and it's a lot of assists. They play on the top line. And
they
the
play
power
with
play.
each other. They play against, off of each other. But I think that McDavid's going to pull it out this year.
I also picked McDavid with Marchand as my dark horse because I think Marchand could really light it up while they're, especially against in that division. Where
Be a good time to do it. It'd be a real good time to do it.
The Capitals are putting in a rookie goalie. They don't have Lundqvist because Lundqvist is sitting out the season with his cardiac issues. It's probably going to be the end of his career because if he comes back next year, he'll be 39. So Rocket Richard, most goals in the season. Who do you got?
Matthews.
Dave?
Most goals in the season. Jesus.
Yeah, Rocket Richard. Maurice Richard. That's the name of the trophy.
So who's really good on like a bad team? We got like somebody nasty on a bad team that can score.
Yeah, there are guys that are on a bad team, but generally you can neutralize good guys on bad teams, and they aren't going to lead the league in scoring.
Yeah, nobody else can score.
They'll just put your top defensive pair out against them every single time, or your top defensive line.
Yeah, I'm not good with names in the NHL, so I only know the teams, I guess. So how about all right? So then, how about somebody on the Knights? Who's the best player on the Knights?
Jonathan Marchessault, maybe William Karlsson, one of those guys. I mean, Karlsson did put up the first year the Knights were there. I think he put up 40 goals in their second. The year they lost to Ovechkin. I think Karlsson had like 40 goals.
I'm not sure then.
It's toughy.
I mean, if only you had time to do research and look this up.
Shut up, man. All right. I'm just still
regular exposure to it.
Slashes, who do you got while we let Dave think?
Yeah,
so my notes say Alexander Ovechkin. Duh.
Never a bad pick.
I mean, it's Ovechkin, obviously, for the Capitals. He won this award for the past 3 years. That's 3 consecutive years. And he's won it for 9 seasons overall.
Yeah, I mean, he is, again, second all-time in goals to Gretzky.
No, he did, however, tie with Pasternak last year.
Yeah, they both had 48 goals in 70 games.
I do have to put an asterisk next to this, because if Pasternak was healthy and starting on Thursday and set to play a full season or a full this season, my choice would have been Pasternak.
Yeah, I had Pasternak for points, for the Art Ross, the Rocket Richard, and potentially the Hart because of his scoring ability. But I have Ovechkin, Marchand, and Matthews, because I think any of those three. Matthews,
have three in case one of them is.
Well, it could be any one of those guys, and I couldn't decide who I wanted. Matthews, I mean, especially benefiting from the
my boy,
the veteran presence of Joe Thornton. I don't know how effective he's going to be, but having a veteran guy who is really adept at scoring, or was adept at scoring.
True.
Are
you keeping tabs on our picks for these though?
Well, I have everything recorded, so.
All right, Brock Nelson. I was just curious. I got Brock Nelson is going to lead the lead for the Islanders.
I was just curious what you
led the team last year. Wow, what are you making the face for? You led the team. He had almost 30.
How many goals did he have last year, Dave?
He had 26. He had almost 30 goals.
So 22 behind the league leader.
29 years old, dude. You can have a really good season. They're my favorite
behind the league leaders.
He's tracking up.
He's going up, dude. His potential is an A+. I like the Islanders, dude. I don't know.
Yeah,
next up, the Frank J. Selke Award. Slashers, who's going to win that?
Oh, come on. Perennial favorite.
Captain?
No, perennial favorite for this award.
He's the captain.
Yeah, but do you know what the Frank J. Selke Award is for, Dave?
No idea. Best teamate?
Best defensive forward. And Bergeron is a fantastic two-way player. Bergeron has been nominated for a 9 straight season. He's won this award 4 times already. I still believe he should have won last year.
Yeah, I think O'Reilly won, didn't he?
He did win,
Ryan
yes. Bergeron stepping into the captain's role is going to change his gameplay for the better. He's already a fantastic player. I think we're going to see more two-way play from him this year.
Yeah, I obviously Bergeron, maybe O'Reilly. Like, there have been a couple of years when they're just like, well, let's not give it to him. Let's give it to somebody else. Anze Kopitar won it one year. O'Reilly last year.
It's almost like to keep the peace. Like, hey, we can't have the same guy win every year.
Right. Like, you could have, Ovechkin be MVP every single year, or Crosby be MVP every single year.
I mean, like, these awards that are based off of points, I mean, that's stats. You can't.
Well, that's why I like hockey, because they have MVP, and then they have a separate one for offensive player, because so many times, as we've discussed on this show, oh, this guy put up the best offensive numbers, he's MVP. Like, no. The guys that actually count. Although it was weird last year because they only give you 3 finalists, and 2 of them were from the same team. So obviously everybody's going to go with Bergeron for the Selke, except for Dave will probably pick somebody from the Islanders.
Why can't I like the Islanders?
From the Islanders.
Yeah. Vezina, Dan and Dave, who do you have winning the Vezina? Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I said it'd be the team MVP, so yeah, I mean, that kind of makes sense.
Slashes?
So I actually also have Tuukka, but this is because he came in second in voting last year. He has a lot riding on his shoulders this year, much to prove due to the whole playoffs fiasco last year, and he's one of the best goalies in the NHL.
I will agree with all of those things, but I will distance myself from you guys picking Tuukka Rask this year. I think it is going to be Carter Hart of the Philadelphia Flyers. That is my pick.
Any specific reason why?
He is one of those kids that, he's up and coming. They have a good young team with a lot of good defensive players. Even their forwards are good defensively. They're good on the penalty kill. I think that he can take a step forward. He showed a lot of flash in the playoffs. Like, he was winning games that they had no business winning. So, and they won because of Carter Hart. So next is we only have 2 of these left. We have the Norris Trophy for Best Defenseman. Dave, which Islander are you going to pick for the Best Defenseman?
How about Matt Barzal? How about that?
Matt Barzal, is he a defenseman?
Well, he's center. Doesn't that play both?
Center is a.
You have to just
forward.
be defense.
You have to be a defenseman.
Right.
This is the best defenseman, not best forward. They already did best defensive forward.
All right, so give me a minute.
All right, we'll go with ours. I don't know where Dan went. But I have Victor Hedman of the Lightning, who's always a solid choice. That dude is a monster when it comes to just playing defense. He's so good. He blocks tons of shots. He's a physical presence. But my dark horse for this, and he's actually listed 10th in like the Vegas odds, Charlie McAvoy. I would love to see McAvoy take that jump, and I know Dan mentioned this earlier. He was talking about McAvoy taking a jump. I think that McAvoy could challenge for the Norris Trophy. And the last Bruin to win the Norris Trophy, obviously, was Zdeno Chara.
Yeah.
And I think prior to that was Raymond Bourque.
Who then?
Slashes, who do you have?
So I have John Carlson from the Capitals. So he came in second in voting last year behind Roman Josi of the Predators, and he's one of the top defensemen in the NHL.
I will tell you why I disagree with your choice, and I don't like the fact that he was even nominated. He is
People
a good.
don't like his playing style.
No, that's not even it. He's a good defenseman, but he scores a lot. And the last few years, a lot of these Norris guys that have been nominated, like PK Subban, led the league in points for defensemen. And like that's not like you have a defensive forward, have an offensive defenseman award. Because it's just because you score a lot of points doesn't mean you're a good defenseman. There are a lot of guys that are good offensively, but they're not in the upper echelon of defenders. Torrey Krug comes immediately to mind. He is good offensively. You could throw that dude on a fourth line, and they have. Throw him on the fourth line to play offense. But I would not rank him in the top 10 of defensemen. So I don't like that they – I mean, I can understand. That's a good pick.
Do they have the same production, though, him and Torrey Krug?
Carlson? No, Carlson had he's a much better offensive defenseman. Just like Erik Karlsson, who played for the Senators for a long time and is now with the Sharks. Erik Karlsson scored a ton of points, and he was nominated for the Vezina a couple of times, but like it's because he scored a lot of points. He was above average. He still is above average. Kid's only like 25, 26, and he's got a lot
crazily above average. I got you.
But he's not a Victor Hedman. He's not, like what Chara was in 2011, or 2010. He's not that shut-down defenseman that's just going to lock you up and keep you from scoring because he's just got all the instincts. Like, they've been giving it to guys who can score and play pretty good defense. So for you guys, who do you have for the Norris Trophy?
It's Ryan Pulok, I think is how you say his name. Is that how you say his name? Dude, what is that? What's the big deal, dude?
I think this guy I've never heard of. He's gonna win.
Because I didn't look at the roster all day. I don't know how is that how you say his name? You correct me on every other name I've said.
I don't even know who that is.
Well, he's the best defenseman on the Islanders, Pat. You don't know the Islanders.
Based on what? Based on what? What
last
is he
year's stats?
Whatever. Oh, so because he scored a lot, he was the best. What's his plus minus?
That's not what I said. Yeah, he had the best plus minus. Hold on one second. Let me look at it.
He was the best plus minus, the greatest.
It was 8.
It was so awesome.
8. That's the best on the team, I'm saying. He's
That's terrible.
But he's the best on the team.
That's terrible. And you think he's going to win the Norris?
Well, it's not going to be this Toes guy. Tows?
Taves?
T.O.
Devin Taves, who's their best player?
No. He's only a 1-year guy, dude. He still needs some time. This guy's 5 years in. He's 26. He'll be fine.
Oh my God! Did you watch him play last year? He was fucking
I don't
awesome.
think
I didn't. I like the
I don't think
Islanders.
the
I
Carlson pick was way off.
I decided today I like the Islanders. Doesn't mean I know everything about the roster. Give me some time. Give me a week or two. Give me a week or two. I'll be in the.
Know who anybody is.
I'm gonna follow this season because I don't really know that much, clearly. So I'm gonna follow the Islanders.
McAvoy.
I kind of want to, but it seems like
I picked him as my dark horse.
Well, I'll go with him. You know,
You think a bunch of Bruins guys?
I know. That's the team that I'm most familiar with. I'm familiar with other teams that they played.
I'm saying I'm not trying to not just pick a bunch of Bruins guys.
Hey, the Bruins were
there's a lot of upside. A lot of upside on that team.
Last year, they were the number one team. They had the most.
I like the teams that I like, and I root for the teams that I want to win. So I'm not a.
Well,
I'll just root for good teams because they have good records. I'm not a bandwagon jumping fan. I don't do that. I like the Islanders. Is what it is.
I like the Islanders. I decided that like 7 minutes ago.
I decided that earlier today that I like the Islanders.
Earlier today? Oh, lifelong.
Absolutely. I don't watch hockey. I just said I'm going to follow this season now. I'm going to follow the Islanders. I'll be more informed of hockey.
All right, so
I'm excited.
Last thing.
You can bet on hockey.
I can bet on hockey.
Exactly. What he means is
what I meant to say.
Lose money on hockey.
Bet on hockey. That's what he means.
Well, hey, the Islanders probably get some high spreads. So, why do you think I was asking you that earlier? I was hoping maybe they'd be getting some high spreads.
There are high spreads. It's like
so. Last thing for hockey, and then we're gonna announce our big raffle prize that we're doing. The Calder Trophy for best rookie. Slashes, you and I both agree. Alex Lafreniere, the number one overall pick.
Rangers. Yeah, he was a promising first-round draft pick, and he's expected to be a 50-point-plus player.
Yeah, probably, 15 goals, 35 assists. They don't have a lot of talent around him, which is why they had the number one overall pick.
So sometimes what happens is teams will get, high draft picks, or just say draft picks early on, and those players will spend maybe a year or two in the farming system, building up, conditioning to become NHL ready. And some players, pretty much instantly when they're drafted, they're given a cut, right, can make that jump. And Alexis Lafreniere is one of those kids who can easily make that jump.
Jack Hughes, Quinn Hughes, few guys the last few years, like generally.
I wouldn't be surprised if maybe he was sent, bumped down to the AHL for maybe a couple of games.
Yeah, give him like a stint down there. Like maybe they start him in the NHL. He has a little bit of a tough time.
To not tire him out so much.
Well, no, like send him down there. Like relax, face some pro competition, get your confidence up. Like what goalies will do in practice. If a team's been struggling, they'll
I believe
let a bunch of shots in.
They had to do that with Sagan a few times.
Yeah, they send him down there. It's like, okay, relax. Well, also, Claude hated playing anybody who was under 40.
I'm not going to go into his coaching style. But anyways, I think he's a very promising young kid, and I think we're gonna hear his name a lot.
Yeah, I think he's gonna have a good season. So who do you guys have for Rookie of the Year? Dave, which Islander is going to win Rookie of the Year?
Looking at their roster today, I didn't see anyone that was. I don't even know if they have any like rookies on their team starting this year. So I don't.
Any call-ups from the AHL?
I didn't see anything. Yeah, so I'm at a loss, to be honest.
At a loss. Right. Are there any Are there any guys that have that kind of weird thing happening where they played a little bit last year, but they'd still be considered rookies?
Studnicka. There's going to be guys all over the league like that.
Yeah, the draft was just kind of. I didn't really have any big name. I don't know.
Kirby Doc. Kirby Doc was in it last year.
What I don't have as diverse of a knowledge, but that Lafreniere seems to be kind of somebody that most people have their eyes on.
Yeah, he was the number one overall pick for a reason.
That's what I'm saying. So, but yeah, hopefully that would translate. It doesn't always, depending on where.
It generally doesn't.
But I think
it depends on what they do.
If he's on a bad team, like you said, they're gonna play for him, and he won't play that good. That's what you said earlier.
It seems like a pretty good size of the consensus of the populace seem to have him going.
It's close to unanimous. So, like I promised, that wraps up our NHL preview, our hour and 40-minute NHL preview.
Yeah.
Pretty good so far. I'm going to announce we are going to be running a raffle because I'm looking to upgrade some of our equipment, and I wanted to get a prize that I thought was commensurate with getting people interested. So I have, we are talking hockey today, and I have this Patriots helmet. It's a speed helmet, which is now this is signed. You can see right here. There's the signature. But why am I talking about it on a hockey show? Well, this is signed and authenticated. Let's see if we can get that by Zdeno Chara. This is a Zdeno Chara signed Patriots mini helmet.
Crazy.
Which kind of went from really cool to priceless.
Yeah, because you're not going to get any more of
over
these.
the past couple of weeks. Yeah.
So what we're going to do is we're going to put this up in the group, and it's going to run until Sunday. If you want to get in, it's $5 a spot with a maximum of 15 spots per person, because we don't want to have like one person put like 100 spots in. So you can one person can have up to 15 spots. We'll figure out what we have. You have until 6 o'clock Sunday, January 17th. At that point, we'll tally everything up. We'll see who got what, how many spots each person got. And we will then do a live wheel spin where we randomize everything. We'll put everybody's name into a random wheel that we've done before. Spin it, and wherever it lands, that's who gets the helmet. And, good luck. Like I said, we're looking to get some new equipment. We need some stuff for our microphones. We need some better audio stuff. So this is a great piece, whether you're a Patriots fan or a Bruins fan or both.
I was going to say, this is a really fantastic collector's piece. And like we said, you're not going to get the opportunity to own something like this again, because
I do. Because he's
and
he's
it's
not here
authenticated. So not only do we have the sticker of authenticity, but we have the certificate of authenticity. That's a word as well. It's numbered on the back. It's real. It's so freaking cool. I'm not even a Pats fan, and I'm like,
Oh, we already have somebody inquiring. I will put it in a post. I will have both my Venmo and my PayPal available for this, so you can send me how many. And I'll make a post in the group. I'll mark it as an announcement so we can keep track of who does what.
It's only $5.
$5 a chance.
$5.
Maximum of 75. 75.
Load it up, y'all. Load it up.
Yeah.
Load 'em up.
More people enter. If a lot of people enter, I will get a second prize to add into this contest, and it will be autographed memorabilia. I mean, maybe I throw in that Patriots helmet I got behind me, signed by Kyle Van Noy.
And make sure you tell your friends and have them tell two friends.
And they tell
Share it. Jackie, you can shoot me she's asking where to send the money. You can shoot me a direct message later on, or just look for after this show goes up tonight. I'll make the post where you can send this. And
you know where he is.
We want somebody
Shout out to Jackie, one of our biggest fans.
Take this home. Get this. Add it to your collection. You can see behind me, I am a big fan of collecting football helmets. Take this one home. So I think with that being said, we're going to let Ashes go, because you've been here for a while and you've got stuff to do.
Yeah. This is fun. Flashes is back because hockey is back. I'm so freaking excited. You have no idea.
Whoa.
Like, I think I'm more excited for this season than past seasons.
Yeah.
Because with everything going on, so I don't know about, you guys, I don't know about our listeners, but this time of year, I kind of get that whole like seasonal depression thing going. And hockey, like looking forward to hockey games is one of those things that kind of gets me through like, yeah, today sucks, but you know what? The Bruins are on tonight and that's fun.
Oh, yeah.
So we're going to watch the Bruins, so it's nice to have that thing to look forward to.
Wrapped it all up.
Plus it's
She
warm.
wrapped it all up from
Plus
the beginning. The pizza.
It's warm. It's warm when the season ends, and you know that's going to happen, so you're good to go.
Right?
I have a poster hanging up from my 30th birthday when they clinched the division on a goddamn penalty shot that we were there to see.
I will say though, I'm kind of bummed for two reasons. One, not being able to see Patrice Bergeron's first game as captain in person, and not being able to see Zdeno Chara's first game against the Bruins as a Capital in person as well. Those are two games that I would have spent, shut up and take my money,
Shut up and take my economic impact payment.
Right? Yeah. Stimulus check. Boom, boom, boom.
I don't know if you guys know about this.
So,
all you have to do is wait and just have two people walk by you that are the same body type as the person that's with you. You just got to steal their outfits. You get in there as a popcorn vendor for the 10 people that are in there. It's doable. If Scooby-Doo has taught me anything, it's doable.
All right,
we can just Muppet Man it.
We're gonna take a quick break. We'll bid farewell to Ashes. When we come back, we're gonna cover the rest of the sports that we have not yet covered. So here is a zombie talking about coffee.
Everyone thinks because you're a zombie, you don't know good coffee. Well, they're wrong. There's only one brew that gets my seal of approval. Deadly Grounds coffee is my guilty pleasure. The aroma is so intoxicating. It brings all of my neighbors out of the woodwork. Deadly Grounds coffee. Coffee to die for and zombie approved. It's good to get a little deadly.
Use the front door!
Oh, they're so disgusting.
All right, so let me resituate myself. You
have to adjust your underwear.
Yeah, I got it. Well, I had to get up. I had to move some stuff because we have, it's kind of tight in here. Oh, spaces are tight.
Oh, spaces are tight. You just say, hey, we're waiting on Uncle Dave to come back. Just say, hey.
Hi, Emma Extreme.
What'd you have for dinner?
I had lasagna.
What'd you have?
What are you, Garfield?
What'd you have for dessert?
Pie.
Tabletop pie, chocolate eclair, baby.
Oh, you know that they are turning that into apartments, the tabletop pie place.
Yeah, same as Clearview. They sold Clearview. Finally, after all these years, Millbury, Massachusetts, Clearview, no longer. The guy sold it for like $5 million. He's gonna get a way sweeter caddy. Oh, hi, Leo.
It's the only place I could play golf.
Yeah, no, I mean that's home court. That's home court. All right, get out of here. Say, I'll be back later. I'll be back later.
So I have some fun stuff that's I have in mind for additional prizes. But yeah, once again, if you missed it earlier, here is the Zdeno Chara authentication hologram. We have the certificate of authenticity and this just awesome helmet that any New England sports fan should want in their collection. I mean,
it reminds me of what it was in The Simpsons. One of the a picture of Sean Connery signed by Roger Moore, or the Randy Jackson samurai sword from Step Brothers. He just he mixed genres. Doesn't make it any less dope.
Yeah, and it's something that somebody else isn't going to have.
Right.
There's only I think there were 3 of these total.
It's not a one of a kind, but it's close.
Yeah, and again, you're not going to get any more of these. So, all right, so let's jump in. I'll jump into the MLB real quick because
blast this shit, man. Blast through it.
Yeah, because we've been doing this for a while.
More important stuff going on than fucking baseball right now. Sorry, Emma.
So Kyle Schwarber, who I was hoping would sign with the Red Sox, signs a 1-year, $10 million prove-it deal. Now, to kind of touch on what I was saying earlier about hockey contract, this is a throwaway $10 million prove-it deal, whereas, nobody on the Bruins makes $10 million. So this is like
baseball players league. Oh.
The Red Sox are rumored to be trading Andrew Benintendi, which
whatever.
Not the best time because he was awful last year.
Yeah, whatever. I mean, hey,
yeah, man, whatever, man.
We're talking about potentially trading him and bringing back JBJ. So,
No, what? No. Oh, no. Leave him out of here. Get rid of him. He's been, they've been pretty good. He had his he had a moment or two. That was it.
ALCS.
A moment or two. Otherwise, it's been like, everybody around the league certainly agrees that he plays outfield for the Red Sox.
Yes.
That's about where he stopped.
The White Sox made a deal with the Liam Hendricks, who was ranked as a #1 reliever in all of the free agent class. 3 years, $54 million with an option for a 4th year. And I will not be going to any Red Sox games because the Major League Baseball, while mandating masks at all times, which I don't know how you're going to do that when most of the money you make at a ball game is concessions, will not mandate temperature checks or vaccinations for fans attending games. So count me the fuck out. And there's no way they can enforce the mask rule. Oh.
All they have, it's the worst thing is it's doable, but you just have to, it's got to be the right percentage of people. Wrestling's had people at their events for the past, 4 months now? There's been no outbreaks amongst the fans. You can do it. You just got to do it right. You got to mandate this stuff. It's doable. My God.
But MLB doesn't want to do it. They want asses in seats and...
Yes, beautiful money. Yes. No, I know.
They like money.
Good.
So, Dave, you want to cover the NBA stuff that I got in here?
What's the big word? What's the big word?
The big word is COVID.
Yeah, Celtics getting
COVID.
Celtics getting postponed. They said they weren't going to do it. They did do it anyway, so that's
4 times.
It's pretty bad. And I actually heard a really good point about whether the gamesmanship within the coaches would have somebody doing something like, well, we have one guy over, or we have the right amount. Like, oh no, this guy he can't go. Bad ankle. Oh,
the Sixers tried that shit.
That's what I'm saying.
They tried that shit with Ben Simmons, and they made him play anyways, and fined him.
It's craziness. Yeah, it sucks. It has to be. See, again, say what you will. It's been a factor in every sport that's come back and played during this thing. The only time that it wasn't was in the NBA bubble. Every single other part of sports has been affected. Regular season, playoffs, everything has been hit by this.
Yeah. It's nuts. I don't know.
There's no way to escape it. There's people coming into contact with people. If you can get it by going out to dinner and just sitting down and having a steak and a beer, then you know what I mean? Like, you can't expect these guys to go to all these different towns and go to the arena, go back to your hotel room, go to the arena, go back to your hotel room. Don't ask these guys not to live life, because we wouldn't ask that of ourselves or our neighbors or our friends. Everybody does. Everybody has these times, so it could happen.
I don't go out to restaurants because I don't want to get COVID. I mean, that's me, though.
I generally don't either, but you know what? During the summer I did because it was outside. Now I don't. But
outside is different. If you were outside
all day long, every day.
Right, Dave's in a restaurant.
Been on the front line since.
Right, but that's your job. Like, you have to go there. Like, I am very hesitant to go to a hospital unless I absolutely have to.
I feel the same way. I had to a couple times.
A lot of these things don't apply, and you're gonna go out to eat. Like, you haven't eaten all day, and you leave the rink. You
get catering.
Yeah, a lot of them still want to go out to eat. It's just the way they live their lives. It's just the way they live their lives. It's the life that they've become accustomed to, and all of a sudden you can't do it. So every once in a while, they're gonna try to live the life they want instead of just going from town to town, plane to plane. Arena to hotel room to arena. Like, that's a terrible way to live.
Yeah, and it's worked out really well. And for every game you get fined, or every game you miss due to breaking COVID protocols, you get fined, you lose your money.
If somebody runs into Honey Funds and gets something, you know what I mean? Like it's the NBA. Luckily, have a luxury of only having to fulfill a specific amount of games, and they kind of don't have the second half of the schedule really written out specifically to build this in. So that I think they might have taken a good approach because I don't think anybody thought that it would start happening so early. That's the crazy part, I think, is that it's happening right off the bat, like a weekend, and all of a sudden we're having this stuff happen. So I don't know. It seems like they might be doing more stuff wrong, James Harden, than a lot of other leagues have done because everybody else has made it happen.
No, Harden did it specifically to be an asshole. And speaking of
being an asshole, he can't help it. He is an asshole.
Speaking of, Kyrie Irving, the guy we don't like to talk about. Absolute utter disrespect for his teammates, his coaches, the organization, and the fans. First of all, he had this. It started off with an unknown absence, and the coach and the GM could not get in touch with him. But it's not like he was unreachable because he was texting the teammates. And he's like, everyone's like, he's got personal stuff. We don't know what's going on, but, he'll be back soon. He's already missed 4 games, and the NBA is currently investigating him for partying maskless with like 40 fucking people. So that's the big thing that he had to do. Go party with his friends. I told you this guy was a fucking tool.
We know that, but he's good on the court, but he's not allowed to play, for at least a couple weeks.
He's good on the court when he fucking feels like showing up.
He didn't tell us anything we didn't know. He's going to come back. They're definitely going to be a playoff team. They're definitely going to be in the mix.
Not if he doesn't show up and he's fined and suspended and has to go through COVID protocol.
He does. They already said it. He can't play for at least 2 more weeks.
So he's going to miss a chunk of the season. Oh, no. I don't think
2 weeks. It's like 4 games. It's not a big deal.
It's going to be more than 4 games.
Don't get nobody wrong.
He's an idiot. No, he's a dumb idiot. I disagree. I disagree completely. It's completely just brazen. It's so dumb.
Bad way to go about your business, especially if you're a professional anything. That type of behavior.
He's going to start losing support real quick.
Right, exactly.
From the few that he has.
We'll see what happens after this season, but he's got to get his head on straight at something.
I told you he had no respect for his coaches and his teammates.
He didn't tell us anything we didn't know. We knew that. We were all in agreement about that. That's why I didn't want to bring him up. I think he's a piece of garbage that doesn't deserve our time.
So, fuck Kyrie. So, Dave, what else we got going on?
I guess Porzingis was supposed to come back, but
game got postponed.
The entire locker room and some of the coaches and pretty much I think all of them. Maxi Kleber had it, I think. It was. I don't know what. I think there was a coaches meeting and then they had practice or something. So maybe they ordered takeout and somebody came. I don't know what happened because usually those facilities are pretty good with, the people and everything.
Yeah, they did not.
Bradley Beal as well, missing some games because he was in contact with people. So,
and that's what's weird is all these teams kept it was like a couple teams, like 2 or 3 teams in a row. They played the Wizards, and then the other team would have to go into COVID protocol because somebody got COVID, but nobody on the Wizards did. And this Beal thing was only because he had like that close face-to-face conversation with Tatum, and like half of the Celtics are out. Tatum, Brown, all these guys are out, and they're like,
front line.
Kemba's coming back. It's going to be great. Oh, he's looking good. And then it's like, no, we're not playing.
But guess what? That's not the only team that it's going to happen to this year. It's going to happen to everybody.
Well,
it's already happened to a bunch of teams.
That's what I'm saying. It's going to happen to everybody. So
some things you can't control, but I feel like
the season.
Better
to get out of the way early on.
Lakers are playing really well. They've the best record in the NBA, so not anything surprising. But
and who's the new kid?
What?
The new guy in the Lakers, the rookie.
Horton Tucker?
Yeah, he's contributing big time.
He's kind of
he's the Peyton Pritchard of the Lakers.
Peyton Pritchard playing really well for the Celtics. That game winner the other day on a missed block out by Tyler. I'm a little bitch hero.
And you know what? One of the best points I've heard I think this might have been Felger's point that I heard, but it was so pertinent. It's like, how many of all these guys, that they've drafted, all these jabronis that go to Maine and don't do much, how many of them have actually won a game for you? How many have won the game for you? And that's I'm like, whoa, that's so good, because right away, right off the bat, a few games in, and again, he's got a pedigree. He's a 4-year player. That's going to go for miles on this team rather than having a one and done guy. I'm saying he's not. I don't think he's going to be anything too special, but who knows? Maybe he hasn't reached his ceiling. Maybe getting within a different kind of grade of competition. College is one thing, but when you're amongst the best of the best at all the time, there's not a bunch of dudes that are going to be insurance salesmen. The year after you play them, like, who knows? Maybe this is going to be good for him. Maybe he hasn't reached his ceiling. But either way, what he's got going on right now, fantastic. I love it.
Yeah, he's been playing well. I like it.
Even Taco's made an impact. And he's kind of a schmo, but Jesus Christ, he's so tall.
7.5 feet tall, like close to 300 pounds.
All the people in his family are that tall.
He's 300 pounds? Are you sure?
Oh, yeah.
He's like 297.
His brothers and his uncles are all tall. His younger brother was 5'9" at the age of 12. That's dope. You're head and shoulders above everybody else. Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah.
All right.
Bless you.
Damn. Oh, I must be allergic to talking about Kyrie. Dan, you got wrestling stuff for us?
Oh, absolutely.
So let's get some wrestling.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go.
So, more I've been thinking about this the last few weeks, has kind of become a hierarchy amongst the shows. Raw's been a hot garbage mess for the most part. This week, very unfortunate, we had the champion, the Universal Champion, or WWE Champion, Drew McIntyre, come down with the Rona. It got him. First time that a big-time star, somebody involved in a lot of mainstream stuff, got it. It was unfortunate, but it ended up being, and this was something I called 2 hours before the show, by the way, Triple H ended up having a brawl with him, or a brawl with Randy Orton, who was supposed to fight The Fiend that night, or McIntyre that night. The Fiend ended up kind of casting some powers and setting Triple H's sledgehammer on fire while it was in his hands, and then he magically teleported out of the ring, and Alexa Bliss appeared in the ring and threw out of a magic wand, threw a fireball in Randy Orton's face, which was awesome. Lightning bolt. They're really going crazy with this whole fire theme between them, everybody getting burned. Last week, Bliss comes out, covers herself in gasoline, begging to be burned, and he didn't. The matches that he uses, though, are these big, thick things. They look like fireworks. They burn for like 5 minutes. It's crazy. But Raw, although it's had a couple of good segments, has been overall garbage. The Legends night that they had last week, absolute trash. It started out with Hulk Hogan talking about his H-phone and how it can do Facebook and Twitter and all this stuff. Yeah, brother. Like, they trotted him out, and then the formulaic nature of Monday Night Raw has become insufferable. Somebody comes out and starts, and they talk a bunch of shit and then say someone's name. And when that person's name gets mentioned, they come out and interrupt them and start talking crap. Then somebody else comes out, and then, we got a tag team match. No, it's a singles match, and they go back and forth. It's nonsense. We start with the Miz and Morrison, who are now this joke comedy jobber angle who lose to everybody, even though Miz got the Money in the Bank briefcase back, which was outrageous. Basically, hey, I shouldn't have got it because this guy handed it to them. Oh, yeah, you're right. Here you go. And handed it back to him. Preposterous. So Raw's really become the bottom of the barrel as far as the wrestling shows go. Basically, you got 4 shows on a weekly basis. You got Raw on the bottom, NXT just above, AEW Dynamite, SmackDown. Those top 2 interchangeable, but SmackDown's been a fantastic show. Reigns' new character as a heel has been killing it. And even with Heyman by his side, Paul Heyman, for those maybe not sure, doesn't even need. He's a fantastic mouthpiece, an awesome guy to have by your side. But Reigns in his new role and the way he's been portraying this character, he's dope. And he does not even need a mouthpiece. He's still delivering just the way you'd want a heel to do. And it's even better that it's Reigns finally getting to fit into this role.
Yeah, he's been great.
Mm-hmm. And so basically what we have now, the crowd's kind of, I say the crowd, you can only say the internet crowd, people that have been commenting, kind of the general feeling of it. People have really been getting behind him. And even this latest twist that they've thrown in where he's as of now slated to fight Adam Pearce, the authority figure, for the championship, because basically they orchestrated a gauntlet match and got this guy thrown into the match and made it happen that he won so that he could be facing, instead of a viable challenger, he'd be fighting this authority figure where obviously he would have no shot at it, and it would just be an easy path to another win for him and holding his championship for longer. So it's crazy because they've been positioning Reigns versus Goldberg for months now. Goldberg shot on it. He talked a bunch of trash at him, and really we're making it seem as though that was what we were going to get before he randomly came out and challenged Drew McIntyre, who he's fighting. And I will say I'm sick of Goldberg. On a different note, sick of Goldberg. Don't like Goldberg.
Nobody likes Goldberg.
Not a Goldberg guy, never been. But that's what they think the people want. So we'll see if it does some numbers. Who knows? But
I mean, they've always been good at knowing what the people want.
Yeah, I mean, they had their times. They certainly had their moments where they understood what the climate was and what the people wanted and gave it to them. But now it's almost symptomatic of the empty arena / Thunderdome era in WWE, where Vince finally has exactly what he wants, where he's able to physically dictate to everybody that's consuming his product exactly what he wants you to think. Roman Reigns is a bad guy. When he comes out, they hit the boo button. When Drew McIntyre comes out, the conquering hero, they hit the cheer button. They have a button that does "This is awesome." They have honest cheers and chants for people on cue now. So they literally get to spoon feed their audience what they want them to think. And I say they, I mean he. It's Vince. What Vince wants people to think, he puts it on a plate and says, "Here, children, have this, eat this." And a lot of people just lap it up like, "Yes, sir, no problem, Vince." It literally is unbelievable because in no other industry can you do that and just tell people exactly what they should be thinking and feeling at that moment. But I digress. 2020, I just want to kick back a little bit. We just came through the beginning of the year and just looking back on different things that happened within 2020. Wrestling was the only thing that didn't stop. There was nothing that could slow wrestling down. They did everything they could politically, monetarily, everything they possibly could to get wrestling to continue. Florida deemed it an essential business. Therefore, the two top companies in the world for wrestling, AEW and WWE, obviously being the king, were able to continue to operate because luckily they have the backing of billionaires that own pieces of property. So the WWE had their performance center, then they ended up renting out the arena in Orlando.
Pretty much do whatever you want.
Pretty much do whatever you want. Whereas AEW, we have Tony Khan, the son of Shad Khan, who owns the Jaguars, who own the stadium, who have had their base of operations in Jacksonville in the amphitheater that's connected to the Jaguar Stadium. So it's the only thing that didn't shut down. It led to a lot of really cool cinematic matches. Boneyard match was fantastic. The Firefly Funhouse match was fantastic. I mean, we had, WrestleMania held in front of no people, which sucks because one of the things you look back on, Kevin Owens, his original plan was at Raymond James Stadium to jump off of the pirate ship in the outfield instead of off the sign that he did. So it was going to be a crazy bump. Ruined. Hey, that was the same thing. Sammy Guevara in another one of these cinematic matches, the Stadium Stampede match, which is divisive, but one of the most fun matches that I've ever seen where they fought on the field. They had a ring set up at the 50-yard line, fought in the middle of the field all over the place. We had bumps and spots, including the down markers. We had the cheerleaders in there. We had the mascot in there. Chris Jericho laid him out with the Judas Effect elbow. It was fantastic. So the cinematic match, I think, really took flight in 2020. I think the last really good one we had was the Elite Deletion with Matt Hardy and Sammy Guevara. Very, very fun match. Very fun match. But we lost some people. Just to name a few, and I know I'm leaving some out, but Chad Gaspard, part of Crime Time in WWE, he drowned. Basically, was caught in an undertow with his kid, and there was a rescue crew out there that went to save him. He basically said, "Don't worry about me, get my kid." They got his kid. By the time they came back for him, it was too late. Days later, they confirmed that he was dead. So
if it's you or your kid, you're going to choose the.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of it. That it was very nice to hear that was the case. It sucks to lose a guy like that, but to know his last action was to ensure the safety of his kid. That's beautiful. We lost Howard Finkel, the Fink.
Yep.
One of the voices of professional wrestling. And new Angel in Heaven, Howard Finkel. Great guy. Rocky Johnson, the Rock's dad. That was unfortunate at the beginning.
That was a few months ago, yeah.
How about this? It was the third week, I think, of January in 2020. How about that? It feels like it was just yesterday. Same thing with Kobe, different sport, but it just feels like it was just yesterday. But that's almost a year. Royal Rumble time. And most recently, unfortunately, Brody Lee at the age of 41. We covered that. That was a real tough one. The outpouring and the beautiful sentiments that you heard from all around the business, from every corner of professional wrestling, was awesome. And to know that somebody, I hope that he knew in life how much he meant to these people, which I'm sure that he did. But just to round this out, Raw sucked. SmackDown's been good. AEW's been killing it. Their crossover with Impact. We get the Good Brothers, Gallows and Anderson, Bullet Club reunion this past week on Dynamite. Took the wrestling world by storm, broke freaking Twitter just to see these guys come back. Because obviously, for those of you that don't know, they were together in New Japan Pro Wrestling, in the hottest faction since the NWO was the Bullet Club. The Young Bucks were in it. Good Brothers were in it. Omega was in it. A lot of the guys around, the business now were in it and a big part of it. And they basically, this cross-promotional work that they're doing with Impact and AEW, it's perfect. AEW doesn't necessarily need it, but Impact, they're starving for it. So this is a beautiful thing for them to really help their business grow and to be able to bring talent over and have that cross-functional kind of work. That's awesome. It's unprecedented, and I love it. I hope that it kind of spreads out throughout the business. So, yeah, that's it. It's going to be a good week. We got New Year's Bash starting for AEW this week. It was postponed because of the death of Brody Lee, but this week and next week we got some championship matches coming up. Omega's going to be on this show. The Good Brothers are going to be on this show. So it's going to be a fun-filled couple of weeks, and NXT I'm sure is going to try to counter with something. So that's going to be some great work as well. Balor and O'Reilly again had another hard-hitting match this past week on NXT. Sent them both to the hospital again, bleeding and broken bones every time they go. I love it.
So let's wrap up this show with some NFL news. So real quick. Last night, and this is a weird thing to me, and I don't understand how the college football playoff system works, but the 13-0 Alabama Crimson Tide defeated the 7-1 Ohio State Buckeyes 52-24, and I'm not sure how a team that has won 13 games plays a team that has only played 8. I don't get how that works.
They vote them in. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
COVID,
that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. It's like, we're 13-0. Well, we're 7-1. We're just as good as you. We've played 5 fewer games, but the Raiders did hire Gus Bradley as their defensive coordinator, and to announce that on Twitter, they said, "Welcome to the Raiders, Gus Bradley," with a picture of Ken Wisenhunt. So that was a nice job. Right off the bat, you got a good start.
Speaking of SBR,
the Packers have signed Jared Veldheer. He's a big, huge tackle for used to play for the Raiders. He was drafted by them originally. He actually played last week for the Colts. He had been lured out of retirement by the Colts spent most of the season on the practice squad, played last week, and now because the Colts are eliminated and the Packers lost David Bakhtiari, their monster left tackle, they signed Veldheer, who becomes the first player to play for 2 different teams in the same playoffs in NFL history, which is nuts. They do have experience with him. He had come out of retirement before to play for the Packers, and it's nuts. This guy's come out of retirement twice, and he's 33.
Likes that money.
I mean, he made a lot. Like, he was a first-round pick with the Raiders. He made a lot of money because the Raiders.
Tyler Heineke will do that eventually.
He's a stud.
Can we talk about Taylor Heineke?
Mm-hmm.
No, not yet. But Bill Belichick was nominated for the Presidential Medal of Freedom and said, "No, thank you. I don't want it. I don't want it."
I'm glad that he did that, but I think that the only reason that he did it was caving directly to public pressure. I think it would have been a stupid move to do it. Now's not the time. Why it would even be in the cards to do right now is craziness.
Because he's given out like 40 of these over the past few years, including
deflection. Do the deflection. I don't care if you're dead. You get the medal. It means nothing. When you give it to so many people, it really takes away from any prestige.
Him and Belichick are friends, but he still said no.
Yeah, so now's a crappy time to do it. I'm with it. I'm glad he did it.
Emma, what is your deal? You are a nut.
She playing with my beard.
Let's see. Where was I? Oh, yes. I did not do very well against the spread this weekend, and none of us really did all that great in the playoff picks to begin with. Let me pull up my list. Dave is the only one who took the Browns.
Pretty sure I had almost every game right.
Browns?
Except for the Saints.
Oh, the Browns? That was one of the craziest.
Picked every single game. I had Ravens, Bills, Rams, Browns, and whoever else played.
You had the Bucks, the Rams, Washington.
Oh, I did take Washington.
Bills, Cleveland, and Baltimore.
Wait, hold on. Bucks, the Rams, and Washington?
Bucks played Washington. I picked the Bucks.
No, Bears. I'm sorry, Bears.
Bears is the only game I got wrong. I had the Bills and the Ravens.
Really, the Washington one? Washington
I picked the Bucks to win.
Oh, you picked Washington.
You did
said
say Bucks and
then Washington. I picked the Bucks.
I have, because I just wrote B. So Dan, Dave, and then me. Dan, because you picked the Bears over the Saints.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Rams, Washington, Bills, Cleveland, and Baltimore.
That's weird that all right, well, whatever. I won a lot of money this weekend, so, Ravens really helped me out. Browns won me some money.
28-0 in the first quarter was.
I was absolutely loving it. It was great.
Roethlisberger set a record for completions just in an NFL game.
What, 47?
47 completions, 47 of 66 for 505 yards, 4 touchdowns, 4 picks. Oof.
Just wasn't enough.
He'll be back. Yeah, how does Marquise Pouncey snap that over his head? Marquise Pouncey, one of the best.
And Ben is like 6'5". You have to try to launch it.
It seemed really bad.
I don't know if you noticed, but Ben went to the Cam Newton school of covering up fumbles.
No, you'll get it. No, I'm not.
Don't worry, somebody will get this.
Hey, somebody got it. Hey, thanks. Oh, you're on my phone. No, stop. Don't.
Please, no.
So yeah, let's run through real quick. The Rams upset the Seahawks. That was a great game. All the games are really good.
That Rams defense might get him some places. They had a nobody at quarterback.
They're gonna win this.
I bet you Goff's gonna play this next game, and they're gonna have that.
Goff had to come in because the kid who was playing
start. I mean, that's what I mean.
He had to come in because the kid that was playing took a vicious shot to the head from Jamal Adams.
Wolford, he was good, dude. He played well.
And he ended up in the hospital, but somehow they're like, well, the quarterback was a runner. Oh, okay, then tee off on his noggin then. Like, just crack him in the skull all you want.
Unfortunately, you can just murk him. You shouldn't hit him in the head, obviously.
No, you can't. You still can't hit him in the head.
Of course not. But they
did, and they're like, oh, well, he was a runner, so screw him. So the Rams beat the Seahawks. Ravens finally got their playoff win with Lamar and stomped on the Titans logo.
Started off slow, but
yep, they were down 10-0, and he had that 50-yard run. It
was unbelievable.
Nasty.
He played great.
Saints rolled all over the Bears, but I will say this: that game is so different if Wims makes that catch in the end zone.
Makes that catch, it's just a complete how
you could not. Trubisky, nobody could have thrown that ball better. It was such a perfect throw. And he had just made that ridiculous catch on the sideline. Now all of a sudden you can't make a catch.
Football's a game of ifs. Ifs and buts.
Bucks beat Washington, although, it was that defense played pretty well.
Didn't expect a quarterback duel with Heineke and Brady.
I mean, that's their quarterback next year.
He's Brock Osweiler. I don't know. I think it's too early to say. I think
it's him. I mean, they still have Alex Smith for 2 years, but I think Heineke gets it. He's challenged.
Hopefully, they'll both have a chance at the job. Let's see who wins it. If it's Smith as a backup, you could do worse. And I don't think he'd care because he's getting paid. So
yeah, and it's not like you have to worry about paying Heineke. So
right, exactly. So it'd be a really good dynamic. They have a quarterback. If you have two dudes that can play and only have to really pay one kind of good, then that's a good spot to be in.
The Bills escaped with a win over the Colts, despite the fact that the refs tried to give them that game.
Did try to give it to them.
100% a fumble. That was absolutely a fumble. 100%, zero doubt. Like, the guy got up and no one touched him, and then somebody came out and punched the ball out after he got up on his own and tried to run again. He was not down by contact. Like, nobody could understand that call.
Yeah, there was a few this weekend.
Saints Bears had a couple of those calls too.
Oh my goodness, just Bears were getting hosed that whole game. I'm telling you,
I could hear you yelling. I could hear that interception was. The interception was tough, but it was the right call. And then they got a call, their way too.
They got it right back right after, but still, I don't know.
So. Let's wrap this up with our predictions for this weekend. So Saturday we have Rams at Packers at 4:35. What do you think? I think the Packers take this. So I'm gonna relate this.
Who's winning, Emma?
Packers.
All right. So everybody says Packers. Dave?
No, I did not. I said I'm going to take the Rams.
Dave wants to see the Pack in the bowl.
I don't want to see the Pack in the bowl. I want them to lose. I'm so mad at them.
He died like a month ago, eh?
You just want to put him up in the easy chair. It's always been his dream to see the Pack in the bowl.
To see the Pack in the bowl.
That was 1995.
Gross.
I brought it back the other day.
5 years ago.
You have to explain where his feet went. Raisins at Bills, 8:15 Saturday.
Bills. Now I want the Bills to win.
So I had the Bills as the best team in the NFL for the last 5 weeks. I've been saying it, and I love the Bills going forward. However, I do think Lamar kind of figured it out in that first half right after they were losing. He took a step back, he relaxed, and I think he's going to be absolutely unstoppable. And I really love the Bills.
On Diggs, though.
Yeah,
he ain't no slouch. He's all right.
The Ravens are going to control the clock. They're going to run the ball because they're the best run game in the league.
I thought the Browns were the best
runner in the league. No.
The Ravens overtook them in the last 5 weeks of the season. They ran for 1,800 yards or something, or
Lamar's the best.
1,800 yards in 5 weeks.
1,500 yards in 6 weeks, I think it was. They had over 300 almost a game. It was crazy, dude. Yeah. So they did. They took it over. They had over 3,000. It was the most rush yards in the entire NFL for the Ravens.
So are you taking the Ravens then?
I am. Unfortunately.
Emmer, who you got?
Raisins, y'all.
Raisin.
Sassy pants.
That's Saturday at 8:15. Browns at Chefs, 3:05 Sunday. Dave, who you got?
The Browns. Absolutely.
Probably not going to happen, but the Browns.
Emmer, Browns or Chefs?
Chefs.
Yep.
Not a bad call, boo. It really could go either way. Who knows?
I'm taking with my heart on this one.
We're going. Emma and I taking the chefs, and that leaves Bucks at Saints. Now, in the 22 times that a team has had the opportunity for a 3-game sweep, 14 times it has not happened.
Yeah, 14. So,
but I am taking the Saints.
Bucks. Cream's gonna rise to the top.
Here's the thing. I think the NFL wants to see Brady Rodgers in NFC Championship. Pretty sure that's what the NFL wants to see. So I did pick against the Packers. I feel like they're going to get disrupted because the Packers don't like to play physical football. Jalen Ramsey's going to absolutely devour Devontae Adams.
The Bucks defense is underrated too.
No, but
Saints defense is better.
Saints, I think the Saints is not as good. I don't know. They have the great front four, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. I think it's going to be Tom Brady. They want Tom Brady to play at home in the Super Bowl. I don't think Saints will get screwed again like they always do. It's how it goes. Saints don't win big playoff games.
I think the Saints are going to come out and they're just going to romp the shit out of them like they have been. Emma,
Bucks D.
Saints or Bucks?
Saints or Bucks?
Bob?
Talk to the mic.
It was like in between. You can't do that. What's
Saints
Bob?
Saints.
Oh, my heart. Tommy's back.
All right.
Disappointed in you.
So that is our full slate of stuff that's going on in the world of sports. I want to thank Boss Rush Mode and Jackie for joining us on this live show this evening, and anybody who is listening and checking this out when it drops on Friday. Remember, here we go, Zdeno Chara. I will be posting in the group with all the rules and regulations and how you can win. And just remember, it helps us. We can get some better equipment. I can get some different stuff, so we can throw some different packages in here, more graphics, better audio, better video. I need to get a light. Like right now, I just have like a lamp sitting behind my my computer. I'd like to get an actual light, a better camera. Let's see what we can do. So we're looking to you folks at home to help us out. And if this goes well, we'll do more stuff like this in the future. Because I have a ton of different memorabilia, and I keep winning stuff all the time. So I have no problem helping folks out. I have an autographed J.C. Jackson Patriots jersey, and I just don't know what I'm going to do with it yet. So just throwing it out there, folks. If that's something you might be interested in,
okay,
take a look, see what we can do for you. So, with that being said, have you got a hot take, a prediction, or do you disagree with something we said? Let us know at theloudestsportshow@gmail.com. Follow us on social media, Twitter, loudest_show, Instagram, The Loudest Sports Show. You can also check out our Raise Energy link. We can get 15% off, and because we are Raise ambassadors. And we do have an email. Do you have an episode from this week, and are we picking the playoffs game? Yes, we are. So that was last week, but apparently I missed that as we're putting this together. But yeah, so Emma, you got something to say?
I don't know.
It's all over.
It's over. We're done. What do you say?
Peace out. I'm out here.
All right. We will catch you next week. Bye, guys.